Earthbender! Hurry! Get that to the Earth King. They're going to start a war.
All right, man. Salute to the family. Let me see what I got back here. Oh, I have to allow. Okay, I got you. 1 second. Hold on. My alarm. Hold on, y'all. Damn it. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. What do I don't know what I have to click. What do I have to? Hold on, let me see something. Do I go to edit? What I gotta click? We'll figure it out. We're gonna figure it out. All right, y'all. So, oh man, it should just say it. I don't know why it doesn't. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna have an awesome night tonight. I hope you guys are feeling really good. I feel awesome. I feel wonderful. So yes, tonight we are going to be talking about what the title says. Okay, all right, and how are you? My name is Smitty, and I've only been growing my hair for about 10 months. Isn't that pretty fast? All right. So moving along with what we're actually going to be talking about. We got a special guest in the building. Instead of introducing the special guest necessarily, I figure I'll let his credentials speak for himself. Yeah, we're going to get into it tonight. We're going to talk about some things because I want to know why is this country so divided and what is it that divides us. But with that being said, everybody, this is going to be the longest intro I ever done, but it's worth it. Give it up for my favorite white boy. You damn right. My man Barnes.
However, breaking news. Breaking fucking news.
No, that's not the issue, Cap. Listen, the problem here is this wasn't some random beef. This was a setup.
How you know that? You been out east with Camp, or is this just one of your educated guesses?
I have my leads. Plus, if you look at this guy's history, it's shaky. He almost got his own brother killed.
His brother just got out. You think he's getting involved in this shit just to go right back where he started?
No, it's bigger than that. I know it. You ever heard of record labels that put insurance on their artists' heads? How do we know it wasn't that?
You following some social media, TV, kind
Listen,
of bullshit.
I'm telling you. What about the guy he's always running with? Barbershop owner / record label owner? We all know barbershops are fronts for...
Fronts for what? Some damn what? Criminal enterprise siphoning money through record labels?
Exactly.
All right, well, what's the plan then?
We keep digging.
Oh, detective. Sergeant looking for you. He's okay.
I got a snitch.
Where the fuck you been?
Out doing my thing in the field.
Out in the field doing what?
Cop shit.
Cop shit my ass. Look like you've been in a beauty salon. Getting your fucking nails done?
Doing cop shit.
Getting your fucking hair done?
Oh, that be already done.
That ain't the uniform, ma'am.
I can't help that I'm fly, baby. Like, what are you talking
No,
about?
I ain't your baby. I'm your fucking boss. And you better fucking respect that. You don't come at me. What the fuck are you looking at? You want some of this?
Listen.
I got more to spread around. You ain't the only fuck. I got some for you. Old-fashioned fucking ass whooping. Just like I used to, motherfucker. I trained you. And look, What is this? Don't look at me like that.
What you mean
What's
take a
your
hold of
fucking
this
attitude?
shit? What
Yeah,
you
get
mean
a hold of
hold of
that.
this shit?
Hold of that shit.
I got a snitch. You
You
hear
got
what
all
I
you
just
out.
said?
Give
She
me a
got a-
fucking
she
hair
got a
done. I
snitch.
got a fucking tracker
That's
on
what's
your
up.
phone. I see you been to the nail salon and the motherfucking hair salon today.
It's all
Your
black.
shoes are off. Your pants are too tight.
All
Your
black.
fucking hair. You gotta tie that shit back.
I got leads.
You're fucking like leads.
I do real work out here. What are
Real
you
work, my
talking about?
ass. You do work with your fucking beautician, with your fucking nails, your makeup artist. This
That's
ain't
like-
Showtime at the motherfucking Apollo. Take both your asses back to the beauty shop
You know
and
what?
solve this. You shut the fuck up.
You
This
know
ain't
what?
the east side.
No,
You lucky I
I
let
ain't
you in
even
this
from the
fucking
fucking east side.
precinct.
I'm from the west
Yeah,
side.
fuck that.
motherfucker.
You work on the fucking
Told you
east
she was
side.
doing good cop
Yo,
work.
That ain't good cop work. Spend less time getting your fucking hair done. Trim your fucking nails. That's not goddamn regulation. You know it. Go to the fucking... Fuck you and your hair. Take her to the goddamn Vietnamese. Trim them fucking eagle talons off. Get the fuck out of here.
You know what?
Get that shit. Snitch my ass. You better get out of here or I'll send you back fucking east. And go to a Timex store and get you a goddamn G-Shock, motherfucker. Don't go back till you solve this shit.
Barn, Barn, you are something else, sir. You are something else. Oh man,
I wish that I threw in that line. This ain't the goddamn whatever Showtime with the Apollo. And I wish I said, and you ain't Kiki Shepard. Damn it, that would have been so much better if I said that. But
he said it. You ain't Kiki Shepard.
Didn't.
I think that was an awesome intro. Yeah, that was an awesome intro for what we're going to be talking about tonight. Even the police departments on movies. Is it divided by race? What is the narrative? What is going on? So, Barn, I have some questions, right, that I want to pull up. First, I want to ask you, how's your day been? How's everything been for you? That's
Good
what's
day,
up.
good workout. I mowed my lawn with a push mower. Had ribeye steak. I'm living life. I'm living large. Living large.
He said I mowed my lawn with a push lawnmower.
No, but it's the old one. It's called a Reel, R-E-E-L. The kind of
Oh, you got the blade one?
Yeah,
Like the spinning blade?
Mm-hmm. It's called Reel,
Oh.
R-E-E-L.
Oh, shit.
I don't have like a garage or a shed. I live in the city, so I don't feel like putting if you leave a lawnmower out, it's gonna go bad or get stolen. So
yeah. B More is known for that.
Mhm.
But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get into this. So I have one clip that I want us to watch, but before we get started, I want to go ahead. I want to take some time. I want to pull up some questions first, right? Said John, this ain't big enough. And let's go ahead and give a shout out to everybody in the building, man. Shout out to everybody in the building. Look like you got some of your peoples here. What's going on, Ray Ray? All right, I see you now. What's going on, Brody? I see you. Okay, now. Yes, and all day in the paint. Y'all already know who in the building.
If you find the way, I'll restream it, but you have to find it. I don't know where.
I don't know what am I supposed to do here? I'm just
settings, and then I don't know. Allow.
Hold on, I have to leave out the studio.
I don't know, man. It's been a long time.
I know, right? It's been a minute. I'm pissed because I really want you to stream this to yours too. I got us running on 4 different channels right now.
Okay.
Yeah, we're on 4 different channels right now, just so you know. It ain't just here. We got 2 IGs, 2 YouTubes. So, hopefully that'll put it out there good.
Awesome.
All right, y'all. So what I want to do is very briefly, I'm going to pull a video up. So we're going to start off with the video. It's something I want us to react to, get that out the way. And I have, of course, 7 questions about 7 questions that we can just rock out to, right? So cool beans. So what we're going to do is we are going to take a very, very brief intermission. Forgive me for that. We're going to take 1 minute. Let me go ahead and get this video, and I'll be right back with you after these quick commercial messages. All right. Let me send something. All right, so hold on. Let me do this now. We are good to go, Barn. I appreciate your patience. I appreciate everybody's patience. Where's that video at?
Your friend still blocked me. I can't. You got to unblock me on your YouTube, man.
Hold on. Are you serious? You're
Yes,
still blocked on my.
I'm still blocked from a soapbox blocked me because he didn't like my what I thought were clever comments. Anyways, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, you know, folks just wasn't hip at the time, so I'm gonna make sure. You know what? Type something in the chat. Type anything in the chat, and I'm gonna see if I can unblock you. Or like, matter of fact, go to any one of my videos, type a comment, and I'm gonna see if I can unblock you.
It's not coming.
I got you. All right, so hold on. So let me do this. Hold on. What the heck? Okay, there we go.
But listen, Bill, thanks for showing up. Reckless Ray De Niro.
Absolutely.
The king of Bitcoin in the Panelverse is in the house. It's great for you to show up. Yeah, it's the beginning of the race war, Smitty. Make sure you pick the right team.
It is. It's the beginning of the race. Here we go. Here we see. Yeah, when you say stuff like that, Barn, off rip, I just say,
Motherfucker, are you out of your damn mind?
The verdict just came in today of a controversial case. I think it was like 3 or 4 black cops beat to death some dude, and they were innocent on all charges. And I haven't seen the beating for a while. It's been like over a year. But if I recollect, I'm like, that is surprising that they let him off. All white jury let off all. Everyone was black. 3, 4 cops were black, and the dead guy was black. But the white jury got the cops off. So I don't know what that says.
The white jury got the cops off.
Yeah.
Boy. Let me see. Lolo, if you listening, it's not pulling up. I don't know why.
Tyree Nichols. Tyree Nichols was his name. It was.
Tyree Nichols. Now I remember that. I remember the Tyrese Nichols one. Yeah. I did a show about that. I did a live about that when it was big.
I thought that he was talking to one of the cops' girlfriends or something. I don't know. I didn't even know the case was going on. I mean, Diddy's going on now. So what can you say?
Well, hold on. So hold on, Barn. How do you feel about Diddy before we get started? Like, first of all, do you believe he's guilty? Is he guilty?
I mean, we saw what he did to that girl. So that was you can't explain that away, right? Casey, I think her name was. She a singer or something.
Yeah.
And she's all booed up. She found the white man, married him. She's gonna live high off the hog, off of Diddy's money. That's
high off the hog, huh?
It's gotta be, yeah. You ever heard that expression?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
It's gotta be difficult. Seeing your wife get beat up by Diddy and knowing that she was, Diddy's whatever. And then like the whole world knows. It's one thing if like but then like the whole world has to know. Kind of tough.
Okay, I got the video.
Do I think Diddy was guilty? I don't know. I don't think Bill Cosby was guilty. I'll tell you that.
Really?
People get mad at me. Candace Owens says that that ugly white Jewish guy is not guilty. Candace Owens has done a whole documentary. It says Harvey Weinstein is innocent. Only thing Harvey Weinstein I think is guilty of is being ugly and cheating on his wife. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to pull that one up later. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that one in the future, Barn. All right, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna pull up this video right now. I finally got it. I don't know why my phone was just acting really gray. Yeah, there we go, gray. So what we're going to do, Barn, we're just going to go ahead. This is a clip. We're not going through this entire thing. This is too long of a video, but I just want to skim through it, get us warmed up. And I have, I believe, some awesome questions that we can just rock out to. Let me go ahead. Nancy, if you will, please hit the ensemble. Thank you, Nancy. I appreciate you. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and get to it. The time right now is 9:18 p.m. East Coast Standard Time. These are all of your favorite people from the internet, Barn. I figured I'll just get like an all-star cast of like everybody that you adore, So let's go ahead and go down the line here. All right, so let's start off with this video. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. Let me know when you want me to pause it. We're only going to do maybe about 5 minutes of the video. And then we're going to go ahead and kick rocks on this one because they be messing with me. Let's do it. All right, all your favorite people.
About their moral claims about the racist system. You can levy a judgment against Black Americans for all the things they do, but when it comes to this woman saying the N-word, and this other woman endorsing it and saying that she herself uses the N-word, now all of a sudden we can only talk about the Constitution and the legal right. We can't offer any moral judgment against it. That's disingenuous, and it's as the only Black American up here, that's quite frustrating to hear.
Here's the thing. If you want to be soft and get offended by that, that's your problem, not mine.
Let me ask Ricky.
We're not even.
Let me ask Ricky.
This isn't about being soft any more than when you were desperately saving these white people.
Hold on. This sensitive name.
I'm just curious. Why is Myron here?
Myron's blowing up, man. He's diversifying his content. I don't know if he's fresh or fit, but we all know the other guy is just kind of falling off.
I think he's the fit. I think Fresh is the other one, if I'm not mistaken. He's supposed to be the fit one. So
fit is Myron is fit. Is that what you said?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
I mean, he's the smart one. He's the charismatic one. He's the one that, how long can you sit here and call women? I mean, I don't know if you've ever watched that show. I tried watching it, but you sit here and you tell men how to date women and all this stuff. It's like, I don't know. He wants to branch out. That type of content is self-limiting. And plus, when you get older, being I don't know, were they dating coaches or something? I mean, he's pretty smart. Wasn't he in the FBI? Was that right or not?
Yeah, I believe yes, he was in law enforcement. I don't know which branch exactly, but yeah, I have heard the same thing. We've all heard the same stories. Yeah, that's correct.
I mean, good on him. I would love to branch out. I mean, I was honored to be called to Smitty's Corner. Hopefully, Pierce Morgan will call me after this. I'll use you. You'll be my stepping stone to Pierce Morgan, perhaps.
I'm your reference. I'm your reference, Barn. Oh, stepping. Okay, all right, yeah. Tell him Smitty sent you. Smitty sent you. All right, now. All right, so let's go ahead and get back to the video. If you want me to pause it again, we're only going to play the first 5 minutes. We're 38 seconds in. Let's go.
It's precisely why we have this problem.
It's not about being sensitive. It's about I didn't articulate.
Now, for the record, in case anybody is not aware, we're talking about the white lady and her son and the park thing. You know about it, Barn, right?
Shiloh Hendricks.
Yeah, there we go. So we're talking about the Shiloh Hendricks case right here, just in case y'all wondering what is it that they're discussing. Let's go.
Hold on. Let me finish, Myron. Let me speak and then I'll let you respond. Myron, sure. I didn't articulate any sensitivity here. What I said, in the same way that you levied a judgment against Black people, I'm levying one against the claims you're making. I'm no more sensitive than you were when you made your claim. I'm simply saying I disagree with you. And to immediately jump to you're being sensitive is just a distraction. I'm making an argument.
A few moments later.
I want unashamedly, and you will.
Well, go
not
on then.
have
Say
to,
it. Say
you
the
will
M.
not have
Go on.
free speech.
Go on. Say the M word. Go on.
No.
Hang
Don't
on.
invite. No. I don't want you to invite this woman to say a racially harmful term in front of me because I'm the only on here. So if she says it,
that's God damn it. You should have said I'm the only Black man. Oh gosh. Why'd he do that? Barn, why did he do that?
Because of blacks, they are the most colorist people on the planet, right? And they, this Myron guy, I guess he's whatever. He looks Moroccan, Ethiopian, Libyan, something.
Yeah, but let's
African.
be for real, Barn. If he's not one of y'all, y'all throw him with us. Let's just, Barn. That's just what it is. If he ain't one of us, y'all donate him to us. They're in our lost and found. He's in the lost and found, and the niggas are a basket. That's all. But let's just be for real.
But look, even this guy, Dr. Mark Lamont Hill, he doesn't claim him. He says, I'm the only Black American, I think he says. ADOS, FBA, whatever term you want to use. And there's something to that. There is... how do you feel about Africans? Do you have African friends?
I have a light-skinned friend, and her name goes by the Here It Is. There she is. Okay, now. Yeah.
It says you like Game of Thrones?
She is the dragon. You can talk to Lolo. She'll speak to you. This is where everything is about to get extremely interesting, Bar. All right. So everybody just go ahead and be yourselves.
Is it an ambush, maybe?
No, it's not an ambush. It's just gonna get it's just gonna get interesting. Nah, Lolo.
Let me get something. I'll be right back. Hold up. I'll be right back. Hold on. Go ahead. I'll listen to it on the phone. I gotta grab something.
Hi, y'all. How you
go
doing?
ahead, grab that real quick. Lolo, what's going on? What's up, girl?
Hey,
okay, now.
So while he's getting something, I have a question for him. And obviously it's a basic question because we don't want to get into the weeds before we, trim off the edge.
Right.
But
Barney, for it. We got you. Go ahead, though.
Okay. So I feel like, and this is just my opinion, right? When it comes to Mark Lamont here, I feel like he first of all, it's nothing wrong with saying that. Yes, I'm sensitive to that word. I'm sensitive to certain people in certain positions within this historical country saying that word. It's nothing wrong with saying, "Hey, I'm sensitive," right? But the problem that I feel like Mark Lamont has is that he straddles the fence too much, and when he gotta hold it down brass tax status, he can't because he's been straddling the fence way too long. He ain't standing on business, and people can smell that from a distance. And anytime somebody stupid as Myron can smell your bullshit from a distance and use it against you, you already know you've been fucking around way too long. Because Myron is not a very smart person. I've seen too many people check him on too many basic things. And I'm like, okay,
Lola, you telling me this face isn't the face of a smart man? Stop it, Lola. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm telling you that straight up. But that's my criticism for Mark. I'm not saying he said anything wrong. I'm saying that he tried to put up this front, like not a front. He tried to put it on a good face to say, "Hey, I'm making an argument," just like you're making an argument. But then he's discrediting the fact that he has a right to be sensitive as well. You feel me? It's just like, for instance, we can't say the K word right now or the J word right now. We can't call them nothing right now because they're so sensitive. Right. And they don't mind being sensitive about that. You feel me? So I want to understand, why does Mark not understand that? For instance, if you start calling somebody the F word because they're part of the rainbow community, they're very sensitive. And for you to even say they're too sensitive, that's called hate speech. So this is where I think he loses and drops the ball, because he not keeping it 100 across the whole spectrum, because he been playing the fence too long. Like, that's my problem with Mark. Not to say he said anything like let's say erroneous. He didn't. But that's my criticism for him just in general. But I see that you're back. What should I call you, sir?
Barney.
Barnabas, Barney.
Barney. Okay. What side? You from Baltimore?
I live here. I'm not from here. I'm from Maryland.
Oh. Okay. So you're not a native.
No. But I'm West Side certified, so I'm ready to go.
Okay, I just need some decent groundwork. Okay. I wanted to ask you a question about what you just heard. So Smitty said, while you guys was watching that short exchange, he asked, why is Myron even here? That's what Smitty asked. And you attempted to answer the question, which is fine. But I want to ask you something deeper about Smitty's question. Do you understand the context of his question? I know you understood the question, but do you understand the context of his question? And if so, what do you gather from the context of Smitty's question?
Smitty was a crab in a bucket trying to hold a brother down from getting his bag. You see a man coming up. You see a crab just about to the top, right? We all YouTubers out here. Myron, of course, has achieved some pretty high levels, I will admit. But he's ready to get out of that bucket and go to the barrel. And here comes Smitty. Get back down here.
Timepiece Frosty, that's why you only get one chance to cross me.
Love you, Barn.
Get back down here. You belong in YouTube, and that's as far as you're gonna get, Myron. You're not fresh or fit. You stink, and you're fat.
No, but Barney, really though, do you believe that a discussion like this, somebody like him should be a part of? Honestly, like regardless. So watch this. All right, bet. I'm gonna be honest with you. LeBron James is more famous than him. I would ask the same question, like, why is Bron here? Like, why is he in this discussion?
Well, that'd be a step down for him. This is step
Well,
up. This is step up for Myron. Myron's trying to legitimize himself.
So wait a minute, hold on. Here's where I think and Barney, I'm gonna need you to just. So Piers Morgan, can you hear me now?
You good, Lolo. You good, fam.
Okay, so Piers Morgan is a content creator. Period. He didn't get his start as, like, let's say Andrew. Right? He didn't get his start like that. He's not a politician. He came up through the ranks as all content creators on YouTube. So he's no better than Myron when it comes to being a content creator and having a known face, and just so happened to have caught a break because he got in front of the right audience really quickly. So to say, well, the question of why is Myron there, to say, well, Myron is a content creator, is a political commentator, he shouldn't be there. That's not the context. And I'm going to give you the context of the question. We're talking about something that is relegated to the United States, sure, that was born here in the United States. So when we say, why is Myron here versus the other have roots here in America that Myron doesn't. They have a culture here rooted in America that Myron doesn't.
You got the floor, Barn.
Okay, the mic.
It's your show, bro. This is for you. This for you.
Here.
We're talking about the N-word.
Mr. Shun, you're in it. You're in.
So this is the context of the question. When it comes to native, right? For centuries, they have separated themselves from the linguistically and genetically. And so for us to think that the N-word has anything to do with someone in South Sudan, this is erroneous. And no one in their right mind with roots here in America, black or white, should be talking about this concept with someone who cannot perceive what we're really talking about. Every white person in America understands the true context of the N-word. That's not the same as calling somebody a dumbass. That word doesn't have the same effect as calling somebody, a cunt. You understand?
Lola?
Like, it just don't.
Lola?
So for us to talk about U.S. culture with foreigners that don't know anything about our culture here in America, this is asinine. So when someone says, why is Myron here? They're not asking why is another content creator here. No. Because matter of fact, LeBron has more reason to be in this conversation than Myron. LeBron is an American with American roots here. Like, he is. So he has more right to speak on, well, this culture of the N-word than anybody over these oceans that we are, surrounded by. So that's the context. I heard your response and I kind of got this whiff that, okay, I think you kind of see there's a difference, but not the true difference in why we're like, what the fuck is this dude even talking for? Like, I understand he can talk, but on this conversation, dude, go back to your country. Like, you know nothing about politics here. This is not your fight. I don't care if you're black or white or whatever you call yourself. This is not your conversation. Get the fuck out. That's how it is. Like, this is an American issue. It's not a Chinese issue. It's not a French issue. It's not African. It's an American issue. And if you don't have roots here in America, that conversation is not for you, which is why he can say, why are you so sensitive? And other people sit back and be quiet because they know you would never tell anyone in America that they're being too sensitive to racial slurs in a place premised on evading, okay, circumstances where they're being oppressed because of speech and or race and or religion. No one would sit and say you're being too sensitive for being discriminated against because you're a Protestant or because you're a Catholic or because you're a Muslim or because you're a Sikh. We here in America have a culture around those protections. So foreigners that don't have that mental space don't know what we're talking about in truth. They don't. So, and it's no shade on others in the audience. It's no shade. But if you are not American, sit in the back of the room and let everyone else have a conversation. Like, just sit in the back. I don't care how you identify. If you don't have roots in America, this conversation isn't for you. But y'all can continue on.
All right, I got some bad news. Myron Gaines was born in Brooklyn, right?
Oh shoot!
Probably Pierce Morgan is from England. I don't know.
Yes,
if you're, and he, I think, was he's not a YouTuber. He's very famous in England.
Yeah, I'm sure he's very famous. But like I told you, I said roots in this country.
Low. Let him respond. Let him respond. You got the floor, Barney. It's your turn. Let him respond.
I saw him, and I just wanted to bring this up before I begin. That we have a sponsor for tonight's show. It's actually Black African soap, my favorite kind of soap, and it's the same as the name. And that's no joke. That's my favorite soap.
Oh, hell no! 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 Oh, hell no!
Go ahead, Barn.
I don't know what it means. I think it means some kind of god or something. You know that Ghanaian handmade soap, it like burns my skin after I use it 3 days in a row. But this stuff is great. If you haven't seen this, for real, this is it's good for multi-sex, whatever you call it. Anyways, listen. Imagine being Myron Gaines, growing up in Brooklyn. Tries to hang out with whites, probably rejected, right? He's like, go sit at the black people table. He goes sit next to Miss Oshun. Miss Oshun's like, get out of here. Go back to where you come from, the poor guy, right? And it's almost like you rejected him and you created this monster. I mean, he lives in America his entire life. Why can't he? Who is allowed to talk about this? Am I allowed to talk about it? Only second generations, third generations.
Yes. I mean, can we stop there so we can answer your question?
After you two are done, hold on real quick. After you two are done, I have a whole questionnaire for you, Bon. I have an actual interviews list that I want to talk to you about when you two are finished. Go ahead, Lolo. I'm going to give this about 3 more minutes. Rock out, fam.
So, Barney, we automatically know as Americans that we cannot move to another continent and have a child on said continent. And that child is equally whatever country men that we just so happen to stop in and have equal rights to tribal conversations and tribal history as people who have been there for hundreds, if not thousands of years. We as Americans know when we go to other countries, we have to show the utmost respect to every place we lay our foot. We cannot self-identify and overtake identities, anything, land, nothing, none of that, because they will come for us. So by virtue of extension of reality, you cannot be first generation, i.e. a tether in America and think you understand Black people because you're not Black. You're just not. You're not Black American. That's not what you are. You might be African American, Japanese American, but you're not African American. That is not just a lineage. That's a culture with distinct history. You are not that because you were born here. Just because Elon Musk is South African does not make him African American by the standard of America. That's not it. That will make him a tether from Africa. That will make him an African immigrant, sure. But to say he's African American with the same protections as anyone whose lineage goes back to the founding of this country and slavery, that's not the same. And I know white people specifically know it's not the same because when we start talking about reparations, they make it very clear they do not owe Africa nothing, let alone reparations. They make that very clear. They don't owe anybody reparations except for maybe the James. Now, why? I don't know. Okay, don't ask me. But that's not who they owe reparations to, because they make a clear distinction. So when I tell you somebody with roots here, the reason why I didn't say somebody that's born here is because being born here don't mean nothing. You got to have actual roots here to be in this conversation. If you just got here, and you grew up like Myra in a foreign household in Brooklyn, where you live in America, but your culture is Sudanese, right? You still got your Sudanese flag flying because, truth be told, you're not really American, right? And then you grow up and you go to college like Myra, or you go to high school and you get a whiff of something other than your own culture, and then you feel a little rebellious for a couple of years. Then you go back to, basically ingratiating yourself in your other culture. You don't have roots here in America. That's not what you have. You might be an immigrant, sure, but to say you have roots and equal conversation here, no, that's not the case. Even me, I have African DNA, more so than you, and I don't have the right to go African.
Okay, Barn, you got the floor to respond. Lolo, let Barney respond. Let him respond. Thank you.
I'm just glad you're mad at another person who's not white. So that happy. Great. That takes the pressure off me. So that's awesome.
Oh shit.
I think it's crazy that you're the arbiter of who and who cannot speak on a subject in America. He's born in America. He's an American. He can't go to any other country and have dual citizenship any easier than I can. He lives in America and he has to deal with it. And I think he's kind of involved in the culture. I'm familiar with all these terms you talk about. I know what ADOS means. I know what FBA means. I obviously don't know how that feels, but I can see the difference. And even in my life, I've seen how ADOS or FBAs don't get along with quote unquote tethers. That's a thing. That is a thing. And I can see how it bothers you because he comes with a strong opinion. But aren't you more mad at the white woman for saying the magic word? I thought that was what was going to get you upset.
Well, I think we'll get to the white woman, but I thought we should start with the basics, which was the obvious question, which was, why is Myron there? To your point, right? He has to deal with the same culture. Yes and no. He deals with being called the N-word by proxy of his brown skin, not his lineage. If he was a little bit lighter and his skin was and his hair was a little bit straighter, he would not be having the same experience as your foundational Black Americans. Now, to be fair, there are Black Americans that do not have that experience, and they look very much Black. So to sit and say, well, Black Americans and Africans, or let's say Black people all over the diaspora don't get along, that's not true. We get along well. We just don't like our identities being usurped and being used as a tool against us, i.e., and I'm sure you will agree, affirmative action. That was meant to ensure diversity for specifically foundational African Americans, not anybody that want to immigrate here and take over companies. That's not what that was for. However, white women have been the biggest, let's say the biggest person to, the biggest group to benefit from affirmative action. Meanwhile, that's not even why it was created. So it's not that white people are all
You're breaking up.
You went out, Lola. It's okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
okay.
You're okay.
So
you got it.
So it's not that we take responsibility off of anyone. It's just that I don't like to conflate conversations. So why Myron is there opening his mouth about someone else's sensitivity is a different conversation from what the white woman said. What the white woman said should not be confused with the problem with him saying what he said. She didn't make him say that. And he's not doing what he's doing because she's on the stage either. So it's not that I don't have a problem with what she said. Trust me, I got lots to say, but we're not there yet.
Well, you said that the diaspora gets along, but I mean, in my eyes, it's pretty crazy to not allow someone to speak on something, to gatekeep a speech and a word and topics in the diaspora. But you wanted to know why Myron's there. Myron's there the same reason I'm here, right? Smitty wanted to call up a white guy. He wants me to cause controversy or
no, I actually want to talk to you about politics. I want to talk to you about politics.
Fair
like
enough,
real,
but
I have
Myron
a whole list of questions. I'm waiting for y'all to get finished.
Myron's there because he's obnoxious, and he's coming up in the world, and this what's the English guy's name? Pierce Morgan. Pierce Morgan. He likes to stir up a pot, and then and then act like he's offended. Like that's his whole deal. Stir up the pot, get people to say stuff, and then act offended and be sanctimonious. That's kind of his MO. But Myron, it was interesting what he said. I'm not even going to say I'm in disagreement. I don't know if we heard it. I listened to it earlier today, but I'm ready for those 7 questions, Smitty, or whatever you want.
Well, I don't expect you, but I don't expect you to truly understand our relationship with the diaspora because you're not in our community, you're not in our culture, you're not in our home, and you can't have the same feelings as us from your perspective. So you're looking at it from the outside in. Now, to be fair, and I think you know this.
Every time you say something important, you break up. Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Go for it.
Foreigners specifically.
Hold on, you got to start.
America.
You got to rewind. I missed the important
part.
Bit.
So I think you know that foreigners come to America and they set up shop in America because America, that's what we do here, right? However, no foreigner sets up their little, stores, cultural food stores and start in the upper echelon of society. They come to the Black community to get their start. Now, there's no greater support factor for, let's say, foreign Black people that immigrate to America today that can't say that most of their profit comes from the foundational Black Americans, especially Jamaicans and Caribbeans, period. Like, you don't come to America to get Caribbean support. You come to America for African American support, period. We're the ones buying your food. We're the ones buying your goods. It's not, people that don't look like you, that don't have your culture. Sure, they may buy some of your food because we're buying it. But if we weren't buying, white people aren't buying either. Like, that's just how, let's say, the trend goes. You come, like, for instance, in Baltimore, you don't get a Netflix special until you came to Baltimore and you got a standing ovation. That's how they know you deserve a Netflix special, because it's hard out here in the, let's say, in the DMV. It's just very hard because you're dealing with a certain subset of people that if our culture approves of you, you are somebody. So let's be clear. We don't hate nor dislike Caribbeans or any Blacks in the world. However, we don't go to Australia and usurp Black Australian like tribal identities. We don't do that. We don't go to Egypt and claim, oh no, this is our culture. We might speak on the culture, but we don't claim to be Egyptian. Like, that's where we're not. We're African American. We understand Egypt history, but we ourselves, we're not Egyptian by any stretch of the imagination. Like, maybe your Igbos might make that argument, but we're not doing that. We can't even go to West Africa and we have direct lineage and sit and say, oh, well, we're this and we're that. They're going to say, based on what metric? And we have that. Like, you can clearly see that. So no, it's not a hate. Don't get it twisted. There's no hate. But truth be told, your community gatekeeps a lot. Like, when you have biracial children, you don't call them white. You don't call them white and Black interchangeably. No, you say they're Black. And the most you might give them is biracial, but you're never going to call them white like we would call occasionally our biracial children Black. You don't ever make that mistake in calling your biracial child white because you're white. That's the difference. So when you say gatekeep, all cultures gatekeep, all races gatekeep. It just so happens that the foundational Black Americans, people aren't used to hearing us gatekeep, but we do it too.
All right.
Would it make you feel better if I call Obama white? I'll call Obama white from now on, moving forward.
This is crazy. All right, so I want to say something briefly to any and everybody who may not be hip, right? Me and Barnes' relationship, all right? You know, for those who aren't hip, yes, you're looking at a very, very stunning man who was ran over by a train. And guess who came to visit me in real life? That guy right up there. He came to see me in the hospital, University of Maryland, Baltimore. I will never forget that. My own relatives didn't come see me. Barney did. His white ass came to see my black ass. And I will never forget that day. And I appreciate you, Barn. All right. So I just want to make sure man. You understand that, man.
When you pull up to my hood, I'm here, man. I'm here.
Your hood, Barney. God damn it. See, now you're messing it up. I'm trying for you, bro. So Lolo, listen, this is what I would like for you to do for me, please, fam. I'm going to pull up these questions. Could you read the questions, Barney? You are always first on answering them, and we just have a discussion. Okay. Is that okay, Lolo?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's go. All right, so we're going to get right to it. Question number 1. Wow.
How do politics help shape?
No, Barney. Lolo's reading the question. You answer.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Go ahead, Lolo.
The number 1 question is, how do politics help shape a better society, and where do they fall short?
It's a big question. I could really take that anywhere. How do politics shape a better society, and where do they fall short? Well, society is based upon how we treat our most vulnerable, right? Didn't someone say that? That's something to look forward to. If you ever go to one of these S-hole countries, it's not America, you may see some shocking things. You may see homeless children, right? I've heard rumors that there are homeless children in America. I'm not saying they're not, right? But if I saw a homeless child walking around like a stray cat or dog in America, I just called 911 right off the bat.
Go to Kensington. Go to Kensington. Rock out.
Look, there ain't no. If you see a homeless kid, you got to call 911 because that's neglect, abuse, or something. And this kid will get scooped up by the cops, and that'll just put them right in the best place we can do. So I guess society is based upon how we treat our most vulnerable. Old people. If you go to some of these SO countries, they're just laying out there. I mean, it is true we have homeless men dying on the streets. It's pretty sad. So I guess to answer the second part of that question, how could we do better? We could do better with these homeless people rolling around. It's particularly the old ones, the mentally ill. We should scoop them up, lock them up, and force them to get treatment, or force them to at least have a home and a meal, even if they don't want it. And if they want to drink and get drunk and get blasted, take away their rights, sober them up, and give them a house. I'm not saying a mansion, of course. Give them a bed, give them a meal, take care of them. Because once you get old, you just can't take care of yourself, just like when you're young. So that's my answer. Hope you like it.
Okay. All right. No, your answer is your answer, partner. Lolo, do you have anything for that or whatever? And then I'll give my little take, and then, we can go on to question number 2. We're just going to keep it rocking and rolling. I got 7 questions.
I'll say this, right? I do understand that that's Barney's answer. However, I can tell Barney is not close to politics by that answer. I can just tell. There's some things
Wait. Hold on. What am I saying?
No, you. That was your opinion. I accept your
general question. If you want me to focus on a certain area, I will. But I mean, that question.
Boy.
No, Barney. It's okay, Barney. I heard what you said. And in my opinion, okay, I can tell you're not close to politics, let alone this topic in politics, by your answer. You answered in a very layperson sort of way. And you left too many things open for us here today to navigate. But I'll just say, when it comes to the question that was asked about how does politics make society better, right? Politics isn't meant to make society better. That's not the purpose of politics. Like, we already know, we have a definition for the purpose of government, i.e. politics. We know, right? We got those things. And none of it has anything to do with protecting the most vulnerable. That those words don't appear in any paperwork, any document, any nothing. Okay, like nothing. It just don't. So I'm okay with that though. Like, I'm okay with that. Because at the end of the day, you're right. There are homeless, hungry children in this country. There is. So you're right about that. However, how does this make it better? Right? Government doesn't make anything better. That's not what government does. Like, government does what it is told to do by other factions. You see what I'm saying? Just like the president, he don't have absolute power for a reason. Just like the army is not controlled by lay people voting out in Iowa somewhere. They're not the controllers of our military. They can vote, sure, but they will never be the controllers of anything such important, because our founding quote unquote fathers of the country made it like that. So when you answer questions about, well, is politics worth it? Is it making things better or not? We already know the answer is no, and more no to that. There's nothing really in between as far as that's concerned. In fact, politics is in the way of progress, and it's a blessing that we have progress while having quote unquote politics. It's a blessing, because you shouldn't have to fight politics for us to say, hey, how about everybody put their money in the pot and we give Social Security based on everybody working instead of just white people? How about that? How about we just get more money by opening up stores to more than just white people? How about that? Like, we really had to force the government.
What are you talking about?
We really had to force the government to feel that including everybody's money would equal more money for them. This is how much politics is in the way of progress. We have to force it to do something that is beneficial for it, not people, for it. So it's like, no, politics ain't the reason why anything is better or worse. It in spite of the politics, things have gotten better. That's very much a blessing, but don't take it to be anything beyond, let's say, an anomaly.
All right, if you, me, and Smitty crash land on an island, should we form a government?
Do we need one?
If you, me, and Smitty crash land on a deserted island, should we form a government?
Do we need one?
Yes. I want to be the leader.
Okay, so my question would be around discussing the need versus the should.
What? What'd you say?
People do what they need to do.
Fuck, man.
I can't hear you. Hold on.
I'm just saying, like, people do what they need to do. So when you say should we is a very lackadaisical conversation. It's, do we have a reason to draw lines in the sand? In your question, you're saying, yes, we have reasons to draw lines in the sand. Now, I would have to ask you, me, you, and him on the island, what reasons do we have to draw lines in the sand?
We have to figure out, we have to survive. So is this going to be a democracy, a dictatorship? Is it maybe communism is good in with three people, from each, to each their need, from each their ability. Maybe I can go catch fish. Maybe Smitty can hunt pigs.
Sir, I'm fishing. I don't even eat pork. I'm fishing. You go get the swine.
Smitty can fish.
Rock out, sir. Rock out.
I'll be the cook. Maybe Mr. Shun, you can
I'm the chef.
And then we can
I'm the chef.
We'd have to We have to work collectively to survive.
You just stay out of my kitchen. Just stay out my kitchen. I don't care what y'all do. Just stay out of my kitchen, and you go get this fine.
Well, I'll say this. I do understand your point when it comes to survival. You're defining survival based on need and opportunity to, let's say, satisfy said need, right? So that makes sense to the word survival. However, you put the word politics in there. Politics will ensure nobody survives because politics says somebody has to be the leader. And only that said leader, it has an inherent quality that's better than the rest. Meanwhile, we all know none of us are better than the other one. So politics wouldn't work based on the fact that neither one of us inherently are better than the other one for making decisions or anything. I'm the only one that would be better than you when it comes to creating children, but inherently I can't do it without you. So, you know, even there you can argue there's equality in baby making even. So politics would not work in a survival standpoint. Right now, if something come out that sky right now, okay, your dollar is worth nothing. Your diamonds is worth nothing. Your gold nuggets is worth nothing. Literally, all of a sudden, like nothing. It nothing. Okay, it doesn't help survival. But currency is all politics. So what are we doing here? It has nothing to do with survival. So when I said, is there a reason for me and you to draw lines in the sand? What I'm saying is politics is about cutting people off, making sure nobody can touch the other person. Politics is about hoarding resources. It's about allowancing resources to those that it best suits it for. Like politics is a lot of things, but based on survival, no, it's not. And we have more than enough experience in history to tell us that. Like you said, what you described is not politics. It's a whole nother definition there. But we would be more of an egalitarian culture, not politics. Politics and culture is we talking about two separate things. You can instill let's say political culture in a culture, but those two things are not the same. It's like a car and a wheel. They're not quite the same. One needs the other, but they're not quite the same. So yeah, no, I agree with you on the first point, but put to the whole point of, you know, politics and survival, I don't, you would have to convince me with more than just, you know, your definition there of survival.
Briefly, real quick, because I like to keep the audience involved as well. And I thank everybody for tuning in. The time right now is 10:02 p.m. East Coast Standard Time. And I thank everybody so much for watching. So we have right here from the Lawyer Chick. Shout out to the Lawyer Chick. You guys make sure you go check her out. Subscribe to the Lawyer Chick. Are politics and government the same thing in the question? So let's just go ahead and let's just briefly take a quick glance at it. All right, before we go ahead and move to the next question. But let's go ahead and finish this one out nice. So boom, right here. Lolo, you want to read that? That's on you. I don't read the questions.
It's the same one, yeah.
Is this supposed to be number 2 or still on number 1?
No, she's asking about this question right here. She's asking.
So
right.
The question is just number 1, how do politics help shape a better society and where do they fall short?
So I'm not sure. So let me see what she has right here. She also says politics is a little different than actual politicians. Interesting. Give us a little more information on that. Politics come from government. Okay. All right. That's what's up. Okay. So let me just boom. Just in case. Bow. Okay, now. So y'all ready for question number 2? Let's go ahead and rock out. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Lolo, it's on you.
Okay, number 2, can political power be forced for unity? I'm sorry, can political power be a force for unity, or does it inherently divide people?
It would be great to get behind a political movement that I believed in, with a great leader, right? When a great leader shows up and you can trust them.
Are you still liberal, Barn, or did you turn red?
I was never necessarily liberal. I have, you know, I want Medicare for all, Medicaid for all.
That's liberal, Barney.
I know it is. I know it is. I've got a couple gay friends, or at least I did. You know, and they're just gay. I don't know why, but whatever. Like, it's
So
cool.
what? That has nothing to do with anything, Barn.
No, it does.
Got
But
nothing
you're
to do
asking
with
me if I'm
nothing.
liberal or conservative. So these are liberal kind of things. But
Right.
you know, I voted for Trump. That's what's up. It didn't matter because I'm in Maryland, so it didn't change anything, of course. But you know, I don't want all these immigrants coming over across the border. You know, so I've got different things. You know, deleting babies it's just such a thing. I don't even like to talk about it. So, like, I understand both sides, but I don't really talk about it. So,
okay,
I'm not going to really vote on that. So it's I guess I go issue to issue, but I would love to get behind a political movement that I believed in, that I trusted, with a great leader, right? But every time I kind of find someone I like, and I'm like, wow, they're awesome, and like I have this fantasy of like, I'm gonna go volunteer because this person's gonna save America. They're gonna make it great. I mean, this is humiliating, but I will share my experience. I don't know if you know this person or not, but years ago, there was an actual politician. I think he was a senator or something in New York State. His name was Anthony Weiner.
Okay.
And you know, that's really his name. And he was smart. He was on the ball. He would do adversarial interviews, and he was just quick, smart. And I was like, wow, this guy's gonna be president one day. Fast forward a few years later. Hold on.
Okay, Lolo, while he does that, all right, Lolo, this is what I want to know. All right, so this is, you know, something that's interesting in what she said. I'm actually curious. Do you believe that a nation that is filled with a nation that is a melting pot? There you go, Barn. All right, buddy, I got you. Do you believe, Lolo, that a nation that is a melting pot, and I'm gonna let you get right back in there, Barn. Do you believe a nation that's a melting pot can actually truly have one single person lead a melting pot?
Well, no one
thought about that, but you got the floor. And Barn, yeah, you get right back in there as soon as Lolo done. Rock out, family.
There's no one single person that leads anything in this country, and it's set up like that. Like, the president's clearance isn't the highest clearance in this country.
Well, we know we got the 3 branches of government. You know what I'm saying? I got you.
There's too many checks and balances in terms of power to say, well, there's one leader. Like, you know, like that, we haven't had one president that hasn't had some problem in his leadership in terms of being biased, in terms of being tone deaf. We've had some pretty horrible leaders. We had some, you know, like, you know, President Obama, where his background was pretty clean. However, his legacy is very blah when it comes to doing anything that is long lasting, that actually made things better. It's more smoke and mirrors, so to speak.
Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this, Lolo, just to interject briefly, not to cut you off. So are you know, because I hear a lot of us say that when it comes to Obama and his presidency, do you believe that most of us as Black people are upset at the fact that he didn't do enough for us as Blacks, or are we just upset that he did more for the community than Americans? Period.
Well, first of all, we adopted him, okay, because we know he's not foundational African American. We adopted him. We did. And our issue was not that he did anything for anybody else, because that's not our
Hawaii is America, so that's still us, right? No. We don't claim Hawaii.
Hawaii is a part of America. However, we adopted him because his father is not American at all. And his mother is white. So he's not African American by no definition.
Okay. All right. Rock out.
Like, not at all. So, and there's this thing about him being born in another country. I don't know. But at the end of the day, we adopted him. And our issue as a collective was not that he did anything for anybody. I've never heard one conversation from any African American content creator, advocacy group, nothing, having problems with anything that he signed that would benefit any group. However, the issue was what he refused to sign for African Americans that made it that stained his legacy. And even I've seen him get criticism from white people, black people, Spanish people for his, let's say, his absence of let's say the usage of the pen where it came to his own. I started to wonder, especially in his second term, like what was his plan? What was he doing? Why is it that every single thing that has to do with us has to do with the police, as if we don't have other problems in our community, as if we don't need other things? We have a whole section of healthcare that we need help in. We have a whole section of education. We have a whole section of cultural preservation. Oh, never mind that legality behind redlining and all of that. Like, we got so many other problems other than police brutality. And it seemed like that's the only thing he could remotely even talk about. Not that he did anything about it per se, but that's the only thing he could even remotely pull himself to talk about. So now African Americans, through that experience, have learned, don't look at someone with brown skin as someone who has your best interest. The only person that have your interest is the one who's promising you tangibles. And I think part of the reason why the Black community could rally around Trump to a degree is because, at least with Trump, because you know how we feel about making sure we know our races up front. We know what we was getting with Trump. We know what we wasn't getting with him, and we knew what we was getting with him, and we actually got that. So he didn't make no promises that he ain't been intending on keeping, even though not all of his promises even helps us. At least we knew what we were voting for. Now, granted, I didn't vote for nobody, but I can say more people, Black Americans, could rally around Trump because he just didn't have that background, that sleazy background politically that everybody else had. He had stuff that we could honestly kind of brush off and say, hey, but I mean, I don't have no problem with that. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I feel like he has a lot of work to do, but I think he has less work to do than Obama. Let's just say that.
I understand that. So, Barney, let's get you right on that. So let me ask you this. I asked this question last night on the live, and I actually want to ask you now that you're here. Considering you did say you voted for him, okay? And just like Lolo, I didn't vote for anybody either. If you tell me my vote is so important, then get somebody in there that's worth my damn vote. I'm not going to squander it. That's just me. All right. We want to change. Do what you got to do. So what do you believe have been thus far the benefits of Trump being back in office, and what would you say are the negatives or the, not goods of him being in office?
The border, right off the bat.
Okay, go ahead, rock out. My bad, bro.
Right, the border. He's the only one he's talking to Putin. We live in this crazy world where speaking to people who we are adversarial with politically means we're a sellout or something. What are we supposed to do? Just fight them to the death until they all perish? Like, that's insane. Biden, of course, just right off the bat, Biden has dementia. He's an embarrassment to the country. Trump is an embarrassment to the country too. I mean, he's lacking in class and style and couth. He says disgusting, vulgar things. He's too abrasive. He has a downside. I can see that. It's funny, all of his jokes, but do I really want a president making jokes, calling people names? I don't. In regards to Obama, he was the best looking, the most sophisticated, and the classiest guy who never lost his cool. So those are his strong suits. What he did for the country, I'm not impressed, but at least he looked good doing it. Unlike Trump, he's just getting people going crazy. There's a new disease named after him. It's called TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome, and people.
Wait a minute. Wait. Hold. Just Barn. Hold on, man.
God have mercy upon us.
What?
Well, it's not officially recognized in a medical journal. It's a joke, but it's called TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome, and you'll see it.
That's true.
I know people with it. Trump could, if people with TDS, Trump could solve world peace, find a cure for AIDS and cancer. He could end suffering across the world. He could make sure that everyone end homelessness. He could cure all of the world's problems. But someone with TDS would be like, they'd have something bad to say. They can't even recognize when someone does something good. When someone can't find anything good about Trump, I know they have TDS. I mean, come on.
It's an unfathomable, let's say, bias that causes someone to be like blatantly contradictive. Like someone will say, Trump has never done anything for me that I can feel. And then when you say, well, gas prices are down, you have a car. Are you happy about that? No, because I got eggs to pay for, but you just said he's done nothing. And now when we say something, you say essentially you don't care and contradict your first statement. That's literally the derangement syndrome that it's been known as. I've seen it like quite open. I've seen it so much that I do think it might at some point be in a journal somewhere. Yeah.
Could be. Maybe. I mean, hopefully that would be hilarious.
That is wild. I didn't know about that. Like I said, like Lolo, I've talked to you on the phone on the back end and Barn, you too. And I said to both of y'all, I was like, I don't know too much about politics. Y'all know that. I don't watch TV. I don't keep up with the news. Like, so I'm learning while sitting here listening to y'all. Like, this is dope. But that's crazy. That is crazy. That man got people.
You would have to see it.
I need you to understand something. So is there something called the hold on, what did you say it's called? Trump syndrome?
Trump derangement
syndrome.
Okay, is there something called a Schmittler deranged syndrome? I think he was way worse. How did this guy how did he take the title? I can't say his name. Back channel.
Yeah, you're allowed to be mad at him. They don't call that derangement.
No, they don't call that derangement.
It's kind of
so it's different. I'm just saying, like, my point is in saying that is how did he take the title? Do you know how many other, I guess you can say, rulers or leaders? Honestly, if you just want to go off of like what he's done in this day and age and what we can really go by, like what? That's out of this world.
I have experienced that with like one time in one debate, I had asked, well, what do we know about Hitler? Right. And people kept saying, well, we know I'm sorry, or whatever. What do we know about this dictator from Germany? Right. And people would say, well, he deleted Jews. Right. And then when I said, well, you do know Jews were okay.
You're gonna get your channel
canceled. Man,
I don't know how to talk. Sorry, y'all. Those people.
Lolo. We are going to take a quick commercial break. All right, and we just going to breathe for a second. All right, and we going to pray to the YouTube gods to just spare us on this one. Forgive Cuzzo, she don't know no better, but she good though. She got it. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. We will be right back after these quick commercial messages.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Okay, all right, we're back. Okay, I feel better. I just had to woosah for a second. All right, y'all, go ahead and rock out. Lolo, what was you saying?
Anyway, I was in a conversation. Anyway, I was in a conversation and I asked the question, what do we know about this man? Like, what do we actually know? Right. And I said, have we seen any transcribes of any of his speeches, right? Have we heard?
Are you talking about the mustache man?
Yeah, him. I asked. Now I
You gotta
wasn't on.
you gotta get your channel canceled. Oh
Well,
my God.
no, I wasn't in that conversation. I was just asking a question, and this goes back to the derangement syndrome. To ask the question, what do we know? Meaning that we didn't get from a side that's biased, that we didn't assume, that we didn't just, make up, right? Just because we don't like somebody, right? What do we actually know? What's evidentiary? And people just got upset at the very question of what do we know? Like, I didn't even make a position, and everybody started like crying and cursing and going out of their way to just be extra disrespectful. And when the question was asked, what did Lola say that you disagree with? They said all sorts of things, like she's trying to say that, and it's like all I did was ask a question that you should be able to answer if you have this much hate in your heart for anything. But you seem to be more deranged and stretched out in your mind because somebody had the audacity to ask you a simple question. Now, it would behoove you, right, to listen to the question and then say why the question isn't worth answering, at least, rather than attacking and acting deranged because someone asked you a question, right? So this is what I mean by it's not just Trump, right? It's not just Trump. There's other circumstances where if you just simply ask a question or say something very menial, like, hey, I don't see a problem either way. Oh, people will come down on you. Like people will come down on you. Like if you tell someone when it comes to, some of the recent political situations that we see, right? And say, well, how do you feel about it? And you say something like, well, I see where everybody has a point on both ends. A lot of people are deranged and will sit and attack you and won't be like, what are they attacking you for? That's what I mean by that derangement.
I wasn't ready for this discussion. I'm scared to even talk about it. I don't want to get in trouble. What can I say there? That's I don't know. Did you hear Kanye's new song?
Oh no. Yeah, no. We got question number 3. What are you talking about? Yeah, so Lolo. Yeah, Lolo.
I don't want to get this channel canceled.
Goodness gracious, bro. Man, I need to put my thinking cap on. I need my thinking cap. Okay, all right. The time right now is 10:22 p.m. East Coast Standard Time, and I thank you all so much for watching. Let's go ahead and get to the question number 3. Lolo?
How can individuals and communities engage in meaningful conversations about race without perpetrating defensiveness or division? Wait a minute, did you say perpetuating or what was that?
Let's read that one more time. One more again for the WAN people.
Yeah, I think I read that wrong. How can individuals and communities engage in meaningful conversations about race without perpetuating defensiveness or division?
All right. Okay, Barn, what you think? Everybody in the chat, whatever you got, let's go.
It's impossible.
Really? Talk about it. Why?
How can individuals and communities engage in meaningful conversations about race without perpetuating division? You just can't. It's impossible. If you find a way, you become a trillionaire. Right? That's the hill that people want to die on. And I mean, look at Mark Lamont Hill.
But this is America. Like, you can do anything here, Barn.
You can't do that.
Really?
You can't. I mean, Mark Lamont Hill was scared of a word. He nearly had a meltdown. He's like, oh my God, don't say it. I'm going to break down and melt. Don't say it. It's going to hurt my feelings. It's going to destroy me. Why? I mean, you saw him. The dude nearly had a seizure over a word. It doesn't change history if someone says that word. It's still there. History don't change.
It just perpetuates history, that's all.
History ain't going to change. History's already set in stone.
Yeah, we talking about now in the future. If we continue to keep repeating the problems of history, history will be our current, and history will continue to be in our future. So that's the issue.
Okay.
I just think it's great. I think it's crazy the reaction to this word, the magical word, the Dr. Mark Lamont Hill.
Well, that's because
he really went crazy. He really went crazy.
Why is it the magical word though, Barn? Go ahead, Lolo.
It's so magical. I can't even say it.
It's not a magical word. The reason why
It's very
you can't
magical.
say
It's one word that has so much
Lady-
power that
English
Dr. Mark
Bible.
Lamont Hill nearly melted like the Wicked Witch of the East.
He
when
can melt if he feels the need to, because I know a lot of people that'll melt because I just said a whole word that literally just says what somebody is, not even a racial slur. So don't act like that, Barney. To say, well, he had a meltdown. He was sensitive about that word while he's the only African American up there. And while I can disagree with him that he should have let that woman say it so that we can go to her employer and replay that shit over and over and over again. I feel like he should have sucked it up and let her say it. But that's just my circumstance. But I'm just as sensitive about it as he is. My thing is, yes, right now we have serious problems with racial issues, not racial cultural feelings. No, our issue is our people are still fighting the good fight of racial equality when it comes to every aspect of society. So that word in and of itself still has the same sting that it had before coming from white people. I'm not saying that the word isn't being used in other places, but coming from white people, it just doesn't have the same effect. And my thing is, like you said, history is history. We can't change that. And if you want to change that, you're going to have to kind of at least start with an understanding, which is the point of the question. Can you understand that how we relate to each other, both as, let's say, black people, right? It's not the way you can relate to me as a white man. Like, I remember I was on Soap Show, matter of fact, some years ago, and somebody came up to the panel and told me something to the order of, what gives me the right to speak on African American issues, right? Now, mind you, this person isn't African American, and he's asking me what gives me the right to speak on my own lineage. Somebody really legit don't understand why I got a right to speak about myself. This is the America we still live in, because people seem to think because lynchings aren't happening that, oh wow, racism just went away. The way people feel just went away. And I'm here to tell you that some of the people that was hosing black people down and doing crazy stuff to black children because of how they feel about black people, okay, is still alive today. They're just old. So let's not act like you don't understand sensitivity, because you understand it when it comes to other things. And let's not act like people don't got a right to be sensitive. If you don't want to respect his sensitivity, then you can say that. But the second you say you don't respect his sensitivity is the license you're going to give everybody else, including myself, not to respect you and yours.
I mean, no one respects white people and what they want, what they want.
That's
it's been years upon years.
Let them respond, Lolo. Let them
since
respond.
Before I was born, white people are bad. Everything is our fault.
It kind of is.
Let's okay. It kind of is. There you go. Okay, let's have all these programs to put anyone.
That white people are not involved in.
Let's have all these programs to put straight white males in the back of the bus. Let's Rosetta Park that, or not Rosetta.
Who did that? Was it black people who created those programs for white men?
No, it's our own people turned against us.
So Barney, what we're not going to do is debate white on white crime and white on white immoral crimes. Like, we're not going to do that. At the end of the day, right? White people are at the center of a whole lot. So you might want to back off that conversation and say whitey is bad. Y'all have done some bad things that have been permeating for a long time. Just own that shit. Like you want Mark to do here. Own your history just like we're owning our history. Like, own your history too. Make sure you understand, like, yeah, so we kind of created this issue, and it's just still lingering because we started it. Yeah, like, accept that. Nobody's trying to shame you specifically for it, but just accept that is our reality. That's your reality too. Like, unless you're not from America and your people don't have anything to do with America, American politics, or slavery.
I mean, are you going to let me talk? You're just like the gatekeeper of speech. This person can't talk.
No, Barn, you got the floor, bro. You got the floor, bro.
I don't got the floor. She keeps talking over me.
Lolo,
now you're talking over me.
allow. No, I'm just Lolo. Allow him to speak, please. Okay, go ahead, Barney.
I guess my question for you: how do you define victory in the fight for racial equality? When do you know you won? Tell me.
Let's
When does
not
victory?
You was talking. Continue what you were saying.
No, this is my question. When do you know that racial equality fight has been won?
Let you
Where's
talk.
the finish
Only
line?
you ask me a question.
Yes, this is what I want to say. I have a question for you. When
So
do
you
you
want
know?
let you talk so you could
Hold
return.
on. Please.
I mean, you're just going to undermine everything I say. Have a problem with everything I say, and when I start to cook, you just talk over me. I mean, you don't even want to talk to me. You don't respect me because I'm white. Just say it. Say it.
No, we were
Speak the
talking
truth.
about sensitivity. We were talking about sensitivity. And I made the point that if you don't respect his sensitivity or any sensitivity of any person, no matter their color or race, what you do is you open the floodgates for someone not to respect you. You went into how nobody respects white people and how we blame white people erroneously for things they didn't do. And I challenged you on that point that anybody, and I mean any race, is blaming white people for something white people had absolutely nothing to do with. I would like for you to answer that question. So yes, I'll be quiet so you can name me something white people have nothing to do with. That's an actual problem right now.
You just said that all the problems in the world are white people's fault. Like,
I didn't say all the problems in the world, white people. You said that you made that point. So I'm challenging you on that point. Name me something, sir.
What is your question?
I said my question. Name me something that's a problem, right, in the world that white people have nothing to do with.
What if I find something that they have nothing to do with?
We would like to discuss it.
I don't want to discuss it. I want to know how you define victory in the
Okay,
fight for
I
racial
respect that.
equality.
You don't want to discuss it. We can move on.
I want you to answer my question.
What's your question?
How do you define victory in the fight for racial equality?
How do I define victory? There is no victory in racial equality.
So it's it's a perpetual fight that never ends. That's crazy.
That's similarly the history, and like you said, history can't change. I'm only holding you to your own word.
Okay.
It is just a perpetual fight. It really is. I'm not even like it is a perpetual fight because everybody feels like they're entitled. Everybody feels like, you know, they should or have something, or is like everybody, every race has some level of that. So it is a perpetual survival fight out here. And even as Black people, as much as we would like to be seen as equal, we know we're never going to be seen as equal. Our thing now is we've just settled for you'll treat us equal when it comes to politics, loans, credit, things like that. We don't need to actually be seen as equal. We want to be treated with our money means the same in our hands as it does in yours. So that's the only thing that my people are fighting for. We know we probably aren't seen the same. And we're okay with that. Nobody's bothering anyone over not seeing us the same. But if you think you're going to hurl racial slurs to us and we're not going, and we're just going to sit there and take it like we owe it to you to let you do something to us, no, that's not going to happen either, because, you know, we're human too. So, you know, we're not hoping for no racial equality, truly. Like, we're fighting for equality, sure, but that is like, it can be, I can see how you can mistake that as that. Yeah, but no, not necessarily.
You can apply for a loan right now and you never check the box, what race are you? So this whole, they don't respect your money or you can't get a loan, I just fully reject that 100%.
The fact that we have to not check that box, though, so that we can be seen as equal.
There is no box when applying for a loan.
Okay. Well, I know that when people like that look like me apply for loans, we be having some issues centered around our race.
That's
like
who?
our credit
No, you
score
don't. I'm calling you a liar to your face. You're a liar. You're a liar. You're a liar. You are a liar. It has nothing to do with your race. You're just making excuses. You're making excuses.
Like, we know that, but at the end of the day, let me make it something clear with you. A liar is someone who knows the truth, right, and has a reason to hide it, and is currently trying to hide it behind words. Someone that you feel is misspoken is someone that you simply disagree with. Now, I would ask you to respect me and don't ever call me a liar again.
You're a liar. Name one loan you applied for and didn't get because you're black.
Now, let me say something.
Who doesn't come up or a liar?
This answers your question. This goes to your question why there cannot be any equality. Because I took.
What we're going to do is we're going to go to question number 3. You ready, Lolo? Let's read. I mean, question number 4. Question number 4 reads, it's on you, Lolo. Thank you, Cuzzo.
That's funny, given what he just did.
Right. No.
That's funny, given what he just did. He literally just went against his own people's research to sit and say the exact opposite of that question. Like, that's funny. That's funny as hell.
Rock out, Lolo. Finish what you got to say. We'll go to question number 4.
No, because he's saying literally there is no inequality. Like it isn't yet. We have, let's say, a plethora of data that's on file legally to show that there is. Like, we have all sorts of people that is attesting that there is people that like us, don't like us, see us as the N-words and all that say that there is. But suddenly I'm a liar because I'm saying the exact same thing that everyone else is saying, but I'm saying it from the perspective of somebody who has actually felt it. But somehow I'm a liar, and the question is about inequalities and like equality between people and cultures and races. It's like, no, like, my culture understands that we have an uphill battle that we fight, and we not really complaining about it. But somehow when you get into these conversations that they so happily want to be in, they want to sit and play.
This is bullshit. I'm doing this as a fucking favor, and I'm getting the fuck out of here. So let me do my closing thoughts.
That's the victim right now. The victim isn't the people who literally can show blood on the street. No, those aren't the victims anymore. Like, I guess this is a Kyle Rittenhouse case again. No, there are no victims.
Hold on. Lolo.
Let me know when I can talk, because I got to go in and get the fuck out of here.
No, see, all right, jeez, Louise.
Kyle Rittenhouse killed he shot 3 white people. So what the
fuck
are you talking about?
I don't know who. I don't know.
Shit.
I know.
Lolo.
2 whites and shot 3.
Hold on. Barney.
The judge said that the victims will not be called victims.
Hold on, Lolo, please. Hold on, Lo. Because I'm not muting nobody's mic. I respect both of you all. Like, stop.
But you asked me to talk, Smitty.
No,
that's why.
I got you. But, like, listen, I just want to make this clear. No, the thumbnail, his face is on it. I talked to him. I talked to him almost like 4 or 5
I'm getting the fuck
days.
out of here. Give me closing. This is bullshit, Smitty. Listen,
this is goodness
gracious. Miss Oshun, respectfully, or however you want to fucking take it, no one's denying a loan from you because of your skin tone. That's a fucking lie. Banks want to loan money because that's how they make money. They make money on interest payments. There's no one sitting back there like, oh, this person's black, let's not give them a loan. No, maybe your credit sucks. Maybe the business you're trying to open sucks, but there's no one holding you back but yourself. Fuck you, Smitty. Much love, though. I do love you. Sorry this went south, but fuck this show. And I'll take it easy, my bro. I'll see you next time. Peace and love. Yeah. Mr. Shun, peace and love to you. And
boy.
Deuces. Fuck this.
All right, bro.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you. Now let's talk about this right here. See, this is interesting, right? Because Black people aren't allowed to do our own studies and put out our own data about ourselves. We have to go through white people. And it's the white people, the white man specifically, not even the white woman in this case, the white man who said they ran tests to see exact credit scores, exact money, exact everything. The only difference is the name was overtly Black versus overtly white, and there was that racial difference. And they literally showed that there is a systemic issue when it comes to banking and money loaning in this country be over race. Same study was done when it comes to joblessness. The same applications was filled out with the same exact information, except for one little difference: the race and the name, which tells people what kind of like the culture you come from, right? And it was the same situation again. Black people got the least amount of callbacks. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's like, this is like, and it goes on and on and on. When it comes to the penal system, when it comes to any type of acquisition system, like when it comes to culture, when it comes to music, everything, it's the same studies done by the same white people that we're going to take on face value, right? Because, you know, we can't do our own studies and stuff because people will say, oh, that's pseudo, right? So we take white man study. And then when we say, hey, this is a problem, we're told you're a liar. And just like it's raining, and he just said, no, it ain't. And we just supposed to bow down and say, oh, because you white and you said so. That's why. And my thing is, what he should have did, and I'm sorry if I got to take the position of a white man right now, what you should have did as a white man is to say, wait a minute, hold on. Those studies was done by liberals, and those liberals lied, and they didn't actually take the right sample size. And that's what you should have did. You should have went in on the actual evidence to say, oh, no. What you're feeling isn't exactly what you're feeling. That's how you get in my head, sir. But what you don't do is just sit here and say I'm lying, and that's not even the definition of a lie. And then technically you're disagreeing, but then you can't even put forth something that makes any sense other than you just disagree. No, you're not. You must have a sucky business. Sir, did you not understand the context of the conversation? Like a black man with the same level of background, criminal background even, applying for the same loan with the same amount of money, the same credit, will not get the same as a white man under the same conditions. Even Obama, that was one of the laws he signed, was equal punishment between races. Now, why the hell would he need to sign something like that if what this gentleman just said here is the truth? But see, I'm supposed to forget what came across the news and just say, oh, well, because you're white and you said so, I guess then that's the truth. Now, mind you, it ain't the truth because I said it. You can Google what I'm talking about. You want to call me on it? I have Smitty Google that shit right now. But it's like, nah, we don't need to go through all that. We all got phones and computers at our access. Okay, we all seen the same information. We don't need to beat that dead horse. But it wasn't that it wasn't a good conversation. But you're just like Lamont Hill. You just overly sensitive and you don't know how to argue an argument without, let's say, crashing out. And this is the problem that I have with Miss Candace, even though she one of us. This is my problem with her. Okay? She want to sit and say black people don't know how to have discourse. Sir, some of my own people been drinking the Kool-Aid. All right? But trust and believe, not everybody drunk off the Kool-Aid. We all the fifths ain't drunk over here. So, no, you're going to have to come better than that if you want to sit and deal with anybody of any intelligence. Because if I was to sit here and not say nothing, and then this live go off, and people say, "Hold on, did you not see all of these studies? Like, you got how many degrees, and you don't know this? Like, you've been through how many statistics classes? How many like ethics classes have you taken in your degree in law, and you don't know this, Miss Oshun? What the fuck is wrong with you? See, no, nobody gets that off on me. So this is what I mean by you can go around dumb people and claim you the smartest one in the room. But I bet you ain't going to go around nobody that you think is just as smart and witty as you and sit and make the same claim. No, you're not about to do that. And right now, I don't have no books open. I ain't Googling nothing. I ain't giving you no actual historical documentation with me. I'm not pulling up original documents. That ain't even what I'm doing. Not at all. I'm just talking off the top. So you can challenge my off the top, but I see you're not challenging it. You're trying to challenge me, the person, because you don't have nothing else. So it's like, nah, I expect you to feel like the white man is the victim. That's why I asked, who is victimizing you? Because it definitely ain't my people. I mean, I would venture to say the Jays might be victimizing you, but see, that's a different conversation. Okay. But my people ain't victimizing nobody out here. And what you're not going to do is point no finger at mine. Not at all. No, we can talk about the actual problems. But we ain't going to sit and say, oh, black people causing, white people to be seen badly. Look, sir? No, not in 2025. No, we going to talk about this like civil adults. What problems ain't your people involved in directly? I just need to know, because if it's a problem you're not involved in, we're going to give you credit. We're going to give you your flowers. We're going to say the white man ain't responsible for that in no way, shape, form, or fashion. History is not going to change. He was never a part of that. We're going to give you your flowers, sir. But because you didn't want to, man up to the challenge, you wanted to buckle and shit. You know what I mean? This is why nobody got the chance to hear the beautiful history of white men and how they're not a part of every problem. I meant what I said. We really do want to discuss what problems you're not a part of, because we can use that to bridge some gaps here. We really can. I can talk to my people and say, let's stop talking about white people when it comes to this, because they're not a part of that. That's not their fault. That's where we could bridge the gap. But what did you do? You did exactly what Candace Owens said other people do. You didn't want to have discourse. You wanted to, run off, off your emotions and be sensitive. You see how that worked, Jake? I'm done.
Okay. All right. So I'm just going to speak my little piece, and Lolo, we can finish the show out. All right. I believe somebody wants to come up and speak. All right. So I'm going to give a little time for that. All right. See what we got. I just want to say, I'm one of them, Lolo. You know me. I like to have the discussion. I actually like to, hear different perspectives, listen to people and what they have to say. And so I actually get it. Hold on, what? Say what says both browsers don't support. I don't know what you want, but if you want a device, all you got to do is just literally, it's pretty easy. I'm not tech savvy at all. Don't let none of this around you fool you. You just click that right there. Now let me try it again. All right, I'm gonna drop it one more time for you. Let's see what we got. Boom. All right, click this right here. There you go. All right. Now hold on. Wait. Let me ask you a question real quick. Are you on this channel or are you on this channel? If you're on that channel right there, that's probably why. You need to come over here. I think that might be why. I know, right? Watts. I don't know. Come up here and talk to your girl. She just, hey, bro. Come up here and talk to folks, bro. She just.
Amen. I never thought a day in my life I'd be defending Mark Lamont Hill, but today is the Lord's day. Truly, it is. This is the first time I can't put him on my whipping post, but
Yeah.
Listen, if we was having a conversation about my disagreement with Mark Lamont Hill, y'all be like, Lola, we gonna have to do a private stream. I don't know what I agree with that you said.
But Lolo, we gotta be real though, fam. Like, we gotta know how to have the discussion without seeming, truly antagonistic. Y'all hold tight 1 second. I gotta give Brody some form of intro. Oh yeah, I already got you, fam. You know what I'm saying? Like, but Lolo, we gotta cool out a little bit. You know that tensions are high right now and everything. But anyway, with that being said, everybody, welcome my man Watts to the building.
Let's get it. This that go and get it. With no hesitation. This that never quit. Start that elevation. This that process. This that in the making. This that started from the bottom. This that motivation.
Lola.
What in the world is you calling my name? What I did?
You know what? What I've started to understand about you, Lola.
I personally, some of you, I don't want you to take it the wrong way when I say it. I'm just telling you what I think in my brain. I personally think that your voice is amazing for educating, but conversation, god damn, girl.
Yeah, I'm a beast.
I would never challenge your intelligence. I don't think you're stupid. I think that the shit that you say you actually believe. I believe that you've actually read the information that you're using in the context of the conversation. I believe all of that. It's just yo black ass. You got that. You got that. No, shut the fuck up. No, shut the fuck up. I'm gonna tell you. Yeah.
Wait, I didn't say one F-bomb. I didn't say one F-bomb.
Lola.
You don't have to literally say it for
we not.
You don't have to literally say it. Yeah, no, Lola.
We not. Lola.
Those exact words, but girl, you will put a motherfucker in a headlock verbally quickly.
Lolo.
I didn't say that.
Lolo.
Okay.
You came smooth in literally just like this. And all we try and do is have a discussion.
Hold on, but my man's down there holding the piece, aiming it at my wings. What is you talking about?
All right, just man, I don't know where you get the echo from. You might have on two devices. Am I echo into anybody else? Somebody either put a V or a number 7 in the chat. V or number 7. We don't do 1 and 2s.
Yeah, I don't hear echo.
Yeah, I don't hear no echo. I think you probably have on 2 devices. Sometimes if you have it on 2 different streamers, streaming, sometimes it give you an echo.
You did say both. You did say both internet joints was not compatible, so both of them probably open.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. But yeah, all you got to do, you come to Smitty's Corner.77 on YouTube. You can go ahead and join the conversation while we up here. Watch. So let's go ahead. You know what? Let us finish the discussion.
Let him answer that fourth question. I think third or fourth question. Let him answer that.
Yeah. Okay. So Lolo, you still on duty? You still? Because I got a headache.
Okay. I'll read it. All right.
Question number 4 or 3? Question number 4.
I think we was on
4.
Yeah, okay.
Boom.
Okay. Yeah. So number 4. What are some effective policy changes that could help address structural inequalities and promote racial equality?
I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters. I don't think that it matters what policy. I believe that it does at this point, currently, at this moment in 2025. I don't think that it matters in a sense of, I don't think there's any policy that you'll put into place that'll make a nigga read a money book. I don't think there's any policy that you'll put in place that'll make a black family come together to actually write their monthly budget down. I don't think there's a policy that you'll put in place to help black people start figuring out the money plan, like that money plan part, that money planning, the financial intelligence, like that aspect is so underwhelmingly talked about in the black community because we do so much talking about why the white man policy is fucking us up that I really don't think that matters that much. I don't believe that we're in a time where we're still getting attacked by dogs and sprayed by fire hoses and stuff. Like, is shit sweet? Like, no, but it's not 1970 no more. It's not 1960 no more. This ain't the same. Right now, our responsibility is gaining the education behind all of this stuff, because at the end of the day, if they give us more policy, all that is just another hand in our pocket to tell us we can't make more money than this. If they keep making policy for us, all they're going to do is keep capping us in terms of what it is that we're allowed to do. It's the more policy they add, the more we're gonna have to go ask them for permission to be able to step outside of the box. I don't want no more policy. I want all of us to start figuring this shit out now with what we have, because what's gonna happen is after we do start figuring it out, they're going to start implementing policy to limit us. So I don't want them to put anything in place now. Let's figure this shit out so they can try and rig. So, because once we figure out the financial part, once they start trying to rig the game, we'll already know how to move around that if we know what we're doing.
Right. Well, to that point, this is why I said earlier in the show, and Watts, I don't know if you heard it, but when Barney had made the statement about homelessness, right? I had said that I could hear that he's not really close to politics as it pertains to this issue, because he has said that we should be able to force someone to live the way we think they should live. We should be able to force someone into housing, force them into something, and qualify them as mentally unstable and force them. And I said, hold on. Like, no, and that's what I'm talking about. So if you make a policy to say anyone that deems you to be crazy, you don't got to actually be crazy. But if somebody just deems it that way because they don't agree with what you're trying to do, that legally the government can take custody of you and you're not property of the state, okay? This right here is disastrous in the United States of America, okay? Like, that's disastrous to give the government that level of power that we've been working towards, like, not having. So to the point of policy making, yeah, when you sit and say, make a policy to make people morally better, that doesn't exist in this 3D reality that I know of. But I will say this, and this is just a little pushback. There are policies that aid said thing. Like in certain communities, like the schools, for instance, have certain classes that certain students have access to, right? Because, you know, they live in certain zones, and obviously we know what the politics is with that. And so their children are learning these things at a very young age in school, not in the house, in school, versus in, you know, areas where it's impoverished. Those children don't get that access, right? Meanwhile, both circumstances are public, you know, of public schools. So bridging that gap policy wise can happen. But no, it's not to say, well, we're going to force people to do something. No, but there are policies that eat away at certain aspects of, you know, culture and, let's say, proliferation of the pursuit of happiness for all intents and
Somebody as
purposes.
smart as you are.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. One second. Yeah. Y'all good. I just want to make sure I get folks in the building. So I definitely appreciate you for coming through. You are cammed up. So with that being said, I'm gonna give you a slight quick intro. Everybody, welcome. I don't know how to say it, bro. Everybody, welcome to Black Man.
Let's get it. This that go and get it. With no hesitation. This that never quit. Start that elevation. This that process. This that in the making. This that started from the bottom. This that motivation.
All right, I apologize. Okay, so because I don't want to disrespect. Oh, yeah, how you say it, bro? Or is that an acronym? Owl. Okay, respect to you, Black Man. Okay, thank you. All right, bet. All right, much respect to you. All right, so hold on. Who was in it? Lolo. So I want you to finish, Lolo. And once you finish, we're going to go ahead and keep the conversation going. Owl, much respect to you. Welcome to the Lighthouse. Welcome. All right. We're going to go ahead and get you in there as soon as Lolo done, and I'll open up the floor. Go ahead, fam.
No, I was just reiterating what Watson said about the issue of policy, and I was agreeing that no, you can't make policy to do what the question was asking per se. Like, there's no physical way to do that, right? However, what that is called soft power, that policies can, let's say, can support certain things, right? Not so much direct them, but just support. Like, you can support your child going in a certain direction by putting them around certain things, right? By allowing them to listen to certain things, by having them in spaces that they can learn by way of, let's say, not directly, but indirectly, right? This isn't directly teaching them and saying, hey, you must do X, Y, Z, but it is a soft way of pushing them in that direction. So policy does do that. But I will agree with him wholeheartedly. Like, you're never going to create policy, structural change policy that will address that racial equality issue. Like there's no physicality in that. But I'm done. Go ahead.
All right. So with that being said, bam. Hold on, let me go ahead and do this. Bow. All right. Let me go ahead and set us up. Let me set us up. Boom. Let me set us up. Boom. There we go. All right now. So let's go ahead and do it. Owl. Let's go ahead and get you in here. Go ahead. Let us know what you want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Much respect to you. Thank you for stopping in. Come back anytime you see us live. You're more than welcome. What you got, Brody? Talk to
y'all can hear me, right?
Yeah, loud and clear. Go ahead,
Right.
Black man. You good, fam?
Right on. Yeah, I just want to add to the wisdom. I ain't trying to interrupt with no other conversation. You know, Miss Oshun is really doing just what Oshun knows to do. You know, flow like the river, and if like Fela Kuti said, water don't got no enemies. You know, even if water, like he said in the song, even if water drown your child, like, you know, so Ocean is definitely, I just want to say I'm not with the reform. I gave up a long time ago on the reform. I'm just about the revolution. I'm just about the destruction, bring down, but not on no anarchy shit. Nah, because we civilizers. So I just feel like the conversation, I so much want to join the conversations when I hear these conversations, but it's hard for me to because I'm taking it to the next level, but it's still a conversation. But some people think I'm trying to bring a new conversation. But
Black man, hold on. Let me just stop you right there. Maybe you need to go ahead and check out some of my shorts. I think that'll really help you. Just do note. Let's just say from like mind to like mind, spirit to spirit, right? Vessel to vessel. You came to the right place because you were supposed to. Now, what we need for you to do is go ahead and cut all of this right here and just give us your wisdom. We need for you to add what it is that you have to add. That's what it is that we look for, okay? So go ahead and speak your mind. You around your own, go ahead and rock out.
All right. I just feel like we in a time where we doing our best to take control. We getting online, expressing ourselves, but I don't think that's where I think we're supposed to be doing this, and this is where we grow. Even with those that are with the going now online with that's what they call it, the diaspora wars and everything. But I think this is the most important conversations because it's dealing with the witchcraft. It's dealing with the witchcraft. You know, we need to stay focused on, when I say the witchcraft, I say it in a way that an African would say it. You know, not in a sense of where the Europeans say, well, that's our culture and all this. Nah. We see European witchcraft as the enemy attacking us. So like, I just feel like, you know, we stuck in a situation where we have to do what Ocean was talking about, you talking about, where we need to come up with solutions to our specific problems current. But I feel like they so fucked up in the game, whereas the Prussians, I don't want to say it for what they are, and the Chinese are like on they fucking net. And we need to take advantage of that. If we stay focused on trying to fix shit that they already played the game and already know how to respond to our responses to their actions, we like in a responsive fucking position all the time. And so if Floyd Mayweather stayed in a responsive situation, if Muhammad Ali stayed in a responsive situation, they wouldn't beat George Foreman in Zaire. Floyd Mayweather wouldn't have beat De La Hoya, etc. And so we gotta stop, we gotta react, we gotta make them respond to us. And to respond to us is to get out of those of us that are as smart as us,
right?
How to fucking get into where we're creating shit they gotta respond to. It's just like if they send out with their agenda that, okay, have cops shoot blacks so that the media do this and this. That's just a reaction. That's the thing where they want us to respond and react. you know, and then they act like they solved the problem by throwing crumbs. But, you know, fuck it. What are we really gonna do to make them respond to us? And that's what I want to add to the conversation. That's the question I want.
So, okay, cool. I got you. So, Lolo, I got you, brother. So, Lolo, Watts, the question, I guess, is what do we do to get the others to respond to us adequately and a way that is sufficient for us to have a benefit from it, in a nutshell?
I think in order to make something like realistic happen, my thinking, and anybody can tell me where I'm wrong, but I think the only way that's gonna make something happen like that is if we do some shit like go to Arizona and buy 400 acres of land and build a hospital and a grocery store and a school and a bunch of living facilities for people that live like us, and we operate that shit. We get a police unit. If we can build that sort of structure, like we have to have the school, we have to have the grocery store, we have to have the hospital, we have to have some sort of banking system, and we have to have the police. If we can have those 5 things on a big, and I'm not talking about Atlanta, because Atlanta was given to us by white people. That's some more policy shit. Okay,
and it's a city.
Don't talk to me about Atlanta being
rural.
I don't want to talk. No, because it like land. I would personally say Texas, because in Texas you can farm on that motherfucker. You put some animals on there. You can grow your plants. You can sustain your entire neighborhood off of those acres of land. That grocery store that's in that land can be sustained by the products that you're growing. Of course, you might have to outsource certain things because now you're being a part of the country's economy, because there's enough people and there's a big enough space there. I think that is really like shit like that is the only thing that's going to make a difference. Everything else is cool to talk about, but I really personally think that's the best way to go about it.
All right. Lolo, what you got for that? And right after that, please, y'all, so we can go ahead, keep it flowing, because we still just got 3 more questions. I think I want to get through the questions, and I want us to end the show off the proper way, despite what took place. So we good. We're gonna keep the show rolling. It must go on. Lolo, what you got for that?
Yeah, we gotta yeah. So okay. I don't have a problem with what Watt said in terms of what we have to do, right? Like pulling resources together and buying land and creating institutions that are specialized for not so much just having hospitals, right? Because we're not interested in entering the same system that is oppressing us and creating our own version of the system that's oppressing us. It's like we need hospitals specific to our issues specifically, right? And land and all of that. Cool. However, history has taught us that we had that before, Watts. You know what I'm talking about. The first terrorist attack on U.S. soil happened over top of the first black city that had everything that you claim that we need. So we've had that before. Now we've never had it after that because it was just too dangerous to do so. However, to do that now, right? I'm not going to say we're out of the woods with the dangerous part, but like I said, I don't disagree. We should do that. But I believe, right, that we are doing what we should be doing. And I say what we are doing that is because, one, there's a section of us that need to die out. And when I say die out, I just mean they need to get old and they need to just go on and let the new generation create what we need to the new direction. The old people that's like my father's age that lived through Emmett Till and the 40s and the 30s and 20s and stuff like that, and they locked into the Democratic Party or whatever the case may be, that part needs to kind of go like that. Now that's going to happen naturally, right? But you got this new generation, i.e. my generation coming up, where we're saying, okay, listen, we don't engage in politics unless it's beneficial for us. People don't understand how powerful that is, that so many black people could agree with Trump. But a lot of black people didn't even vote for Trump. You feel me? A lot of black people didn't vote at all. And we did that with Hillary, right? Hillary lost to him because black people said, you know what? No, he's not even taking part in this. Not at all. We're going to let you see how important our vote is. Now, this didn't happen 2 times with Trump. They lost the black vote and paid the cost and lost to Trump of all people. You see what I'm saying? So it's like they know. Listen, now I notice people start talking about tangibles. Now for 20, what's the next session? They talking about tangibles. This word tangible is coming across in politics. And I'm like, oh, I see. Y'all learning. When it comes to black people, more black people since COVID has opened up their own businesses. Now, mind you, a lot of them ain't multi-person businesses. It's not. But we got to start somewhere. You feel me? So we doing what we supposed to be doing. Right now, yes, there's a scarcity of money being given out. Land is, I mean, it's the most precious resource right now because it's not like we're growing more land. So it's like we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, but just like Uber and Lyft, who don't own one iota worth of land, okay, you can still have assets and be rich as hell without owning land. You can. But there's a portion of us that should be focused on land, should be. And then there's a portion of us that should be focused in other areas, which we are. Now, I'll say this when it comes to land. Having landlocked land, right? That's a good thing and a bad thing. It has its pluses and its minuses. I would say land where there's deep water ports would be more ideal because you got more leverage there when you have deep water ports because somebody has to own those ports. Somebody got to pay taxes on them ports. Somebody got to pay fees when they come through them ports. You know, like the ports down in South America, they making bank and letting them ships roll through there and taxing them every single way they come. So I think having land in where water state, where it's like one deep water port or something, that would be ideal too. But if we can't get that, oh well, we on to the next. But I don't disagree. Don't disagree. I just feel like there's other things that we are doing that we just need to stay consistent in. Because one thing my father taught me, consistency, a little bit of consistency will go further than a lot of grandiose ideas that you don't make good on and you inconsistent on. Like, just be consistent in small stuff and you will get big shit accomplished. So we on the right track. We got a ways to go. We on the right track. But right now we're learning a lot that we didn't have a chance to learn. And we're 400 years behind our counterpart. So let's not skip over that. We got a 400-year delay that we got to make up for in a matter of seconds straight, honestly. So I'm okay with where we're at. I'm okay. I just feel like I think we over criticize ourselves a bit much. Like this whole personal issue that we have amongst each other. I don't want to have no more conversations with outsiders about African American problems with, you know, the African diaspora or Africa, because that's an in-house conversation. Like, I don't want to have no more conversations about that. That's in-house. The issues we have, we can deal with that later. That's an in-house conversation. But what we are talking about that's not in-house is how we're dealing with out-house situations. Like, you know, like I mentioned before, like how the judicial system is ran. You see what I'm saying? I told somebody this the other day. We don't need to fight the system from the position of being a defendant. We need to make sure our children go to school for positions that they can hold in the judicial system, to which we are in the back pocket of our local politicians. Our police force is not 90% what doesn't reflect the community. Like, we have to do that. We have to ensure that police officers have a living wage so that our children won't mind growing up to be police officers. We have to make sure that teachers are getting paid a reasonable amount so that our children don't mind working as teachers, as midwives, things like that. We have to ensure that. So this is where I think we're doing a good job in terms of like the steps we're taking, but we have a long way to go. But I'm not overcritical about what we're doing. I just feel like some of this is kind of like, it's just too much. Like, it's just too much.
I got you. Lolo, you still on the clock, beloved. Let's get it. All right, fam. Question number 5. We got 6 and 7 left. Let's do it. Now let's try to condense it, because if y'all chilling, I'm chilling, but I know how things can get once it gets around a certain time. Let's rock out.
Okay. In what ways have recent social justice movements impacted public awareness and action around racial issues in the U.S.? Let me read that again. In what ways have recent social justice movements impacted public awareness and action around racial issues in the U.S.?
All right, Watts, you got it first. Are you?
Owl.
Owl. Forgive me, brother. Owl. Oh, okay, like the okay. Owl. Okay. Forgive me. All right. I'm gonna get it right, black man. All right. So, Watch, you got it first. Owl, you are second, and then Lolo, I'm gonna get you in there. All right, fam, because I know you got the most to say, so I'm gonna let the brothers get in there first.
Lord. Okay.
And that's all that is. I got you. Go ahead, Watts.
I'm gonna be honest and tell you that I don't know enough to be able to answer this question intelligently.
I absolutely love that. Hold on, y'all. Watts gets this right here. You get this right here. God damn it, Jim. I always want to reinforce it. If you do not have an answer or know the answer, the best answer is I don't know. It's okay to say. It's okay to fall back and be like, you know what? Let me just listen to this one. Salute to that, man. I like that. That shows discernment and wisdom. Owl, you are up. All right. Let's go ahead and pull it up one more again for the win. Lolo, you know what I'm saying? Just to help the brother out. And even those who may just be tuning in and watching.
Okay. Number 5. In what ways have recent social justice movements impacted public awareness and action around racial issues in the U.S.?
All right. Owl, you got it, brother. What is your answer to that? In a nutshell is best, but elaborated nutshell, right?
Well, I work for the federal government in Europe and in Southern Africa, around the SADC countries, in public diplomacy. I know that's not a popular term. Y'all can look it up, and I would hope that you actually look it up. And so
I'll look it up for you right now, and I'll go ahead and pull it up. Go ahead while you talk.
So, as a public diplomacy officer, what I saw was Black people being honest in that movement, in the social activist movement. Let's go all the way back to 2012 up to now. And so you have this not radical at all movement, especially from the Blacks, not just those that supported like Black Lives Matter or that just wanted to see law enforcement be put in check, but the Blacks. And address the question, it just says social actors, how they influenced. Well, in public diplomacy, it influenced. The reason why I'm saying this is so you can know the way they respond. They would hire somebody like me that would know how to respond to what the Blacks or those that are the oppressed are responding to their agenda of oppression. Their slave master put fear in the public, in the civil society by killing some Blacks in public, unaliving. I'm sorry for saying those words, unaliving. And so there was, no matter what progress you think is being made, problem, action, solution, they expect it. And they're experimenting to see what the new current responses would be.
All right. So, Lolo, can you read this or you want me to read this real quick? Hold on, brother.
You read it? Yeah.
All right, I can read it. All right. So it says right here, public diplomacy refers to the official efforts by government to convince targeted sectors of foreign opinion to support or tolerate a government's strategic objectives. One more again for the win. Public diplomacy refers to the official efforts by governments to convince targeted sectors of foreign opinion to support or tolerate a government's strategic objectives. All right. So there we go. So that's what it does.
It doesn't have to be international. Apply that to domestic, because when you study international humanitarian law, like I did, you know that same things can be applied domestically. So in the United States, just like what led to what happened in Rwanda in '94. That was a buildup.
Okay.
So they use the media, which is the public diplomacy, to influence the masses, but more importantly, to influence the international community and to influence now to respond to Miss Oshun.
No. Wait. Real quick, brother.
In regards to this.
Yeah, I want us. No. I want to just wait.
Okay, I'm gonna just answer.
I got you. No, I got you. I want us to, because it's just, it's an audience, right? So I want us to stay focused. Okay. I want you to specifically respond to this question. So all she did was read the question. This is what we want you to respond to, and everybody else gets the floor. Okay, 30 seconds. Rock out.
So the social justice is affecting and influencing the masses movement since 2012 up to now. For me, it's showing that there's no progress being made because it's the same problem, reaction, solution, benefiting the government, yet hurting us. Yet we are responding properly. I'm not saying what we're doing is wrong. What we're doing is right. Yet that's why I said we need to go beyond reform. We need to go on a revolution. That's why we need hackers.
All right. Watts. Oh, you answer. Okay, yeah. Lolo, you got the floor. Rock out, family.
Okay, so social justice movements arise because they see let's say an inequality somewhere or injustice being done to a specific. So the thing is, when it comes to the social justice, social justice, let's say wave, right? The thing that makes it such a wave is technology, because we've always had social justice. Like, for instance, the women's suffrage movement, right? That was a social justice movement, but there was no technology to make it move fast and impact the world at a drop of a dime. Right now, if the right circumstance kick off and a phone is present, that shit can be around the world in 1 hour. And 1 hour is just a really long time. So, like, right now, I would say, I think the purpose of social justice movements is good in its inception. However, social justice movements are governed by human beings, and human beings are flawed. So you have social justice, right, movements, let's say, prepared by people that have agendas that have nothing to do with the justice or the socialism in it, right? You have money that is poured into these movements that are not being poured into the movements. Like you have that, right? You have people usurping these social justice movements, like the brother said, that benefits the government, even though we think that let's say, protesting the government. In fact, we're actually benefiting the government more. So, like, if the government has an agenda, right, to push police reform, essentially all they got to do is allow certain stories to circulate the news, and then we'll be talking about reform and police and stuff like that. Versus if they don't want that to be the conversation, they push something else. Because my thing is, you have to ask yourself, why does some stories meet the news, right? And some don't? It depends on what's going on and what the news cycle is allowed to talk about. There's certain things that the news outlets, for instance, CNN, they got blackballed by Trump. So right now, that, their numbers is going down. They don't have access to the White House anymore. Their conversation is almost like outsiders looking in. They don't have no inside scoops. Like, it's almost like just mad people on the outside talking, and nobody knows anything because they're not at the press conferences with the president. Unlike, other news outlets, strangely, that are just YouTube based even. But this right here is social justice movements is a real thing. Now, if you got a social justice movement, let's say, for instance, that protects presidents from assassination, right? That's going to get some in, because you got a president currently his life has been attempted on, I think, twice now. So that might get some steam and some money behind it because you got people that have literally seen it in their lifetime. Unlike Kennedy, I wasn't alive when Kennedy was assassinated, but I was alive when Trump, when they tried Trump twice. So that has more meaning to me, given I've seen it in my lifetime. So I think that those social justice movements, right, is a good thing, right, in their inception. However, there's always the quote unquote politics that's at play. That if anything gets done, I am very much surprised because that shit is at play. So yeah, that's what I would say about
that. I bet. Man, shout out to my man's Bones. Y'all make sure, I'm telling you right now, that good DMV hip hop. This right here, matter of fact, this right here, that I always play. This my folks. Yeah, that's folks right there, man. Grew up with that guy. That's my man's. Make sure y'all go support him, man. He got a YouTube right there, GMF Bones. Go over there, listen to some good old DMV hip hop, man, all day. You already know, my G. You already know how we do. So let's go ahead and get to this next question. Lolo, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's get it. Wow.
That's a number one. I think. Okay. So
no, yeah. It's the last two is a slight different topic, but on the same topic.
Let's see. How has the legacy of systemic racism shaped the current social and economic disparities between racial groups in America? I'll read it again. How has the legacy of systemic racism shaped the current social and economic disparities between racial groups in America?
Oh, my bad. Ladies first on this one, Watts, and we're gonna go down the line. Aul, all right, we're gonna get you third on this one. Rock out, fam.
So, okay. When we talk about the legacy of systemic racism, right? The legacy essentially is the tentacles of the past, right? The history that we can't change. The tentacles of history is what we're talking about when we say the legacy, right? That which comes from it, right? Not the actual thing, but that which comes from it. So the tentacles of that time period where it was like very horrific is hidden away in our society in a way that it causes us to really dig deep to find it. And now it becomes, this is why we say the slave plantation just kind of got revamped. It didn't go away because now it just got deeper. You see what I'm saying? It didn't go away, like not at all. The public lynchings don't look like trees and strange fruit. No, it looks like we got laws that say you're innocent until proven guilty, right? Unless you're black, you will be guilty in the eyes of public opinion, and you will be slaughtered before you even get to the courthouse. No one will believe.
You know how many times I had to sit before my court date? No bond.
That part. You see what I'm saying? Because of the systemic history of this country, of racism in this country. So that's not a direct situation right there. No, but it is part of the legacy of the systemic problems that we've had in this country. It is very much part of that. So when we talk about how that has shaped politics, how that shaped economic disparities, right? It continues to do what it always has done. Like there's never been a time in America where there wasn't at least one or some black people that wasn't enslaved, right? That they actually lived and they might have even owned slaves and had wealth. But there was very far and few in between of them. And those ones had protections that the other ones didn't. Seriously. Like we know the stories of people gaining freedom and being put back into slavery, even though they had legitimate freedom papers. Like we know that didn't even protect some of us. So, so I can't even act like, well, we all were in the same struggle. Like I'm not even going to make that conversation. However, there's a history of, let's say, the dominant society always keeping a portion of us in a nice position to create the illusion for everybody else. Like I think there was a scene in one movie. I think it was about the Making Seven or something, and there was this girl, and she was being given a blue dress, right? And she was a slave, but she was being given a blue dress and being told that if she told where her people were hiding, that she would get better food. She would, she would just be living a different lifestyle, and that this is always attainable if they just did what they were told. Meanwhile, that was just something to keep, let's say, the snitch culture going. You see what I'm saying? It's not a reality for people. It's just not. It's just a different jail. But it's an illusion that's being used. That's why a lot of people say, well, because Oprah is rich, Black people aren't enslaved anymore. We know that's the furthest thing from the truth. Even Oprah walked into a store and she was followed around like a common thief. Like, we know that. So to say because one person is rich, none of us are going through anything, like, this is the illusion, the tentacles of that system, that systemic system, to keep some of us kind of like okay, so that the rest of us can be compared to that, and we're told that we should be happy, for instance, that we have the scraps and the type of treatment we have because there's one or two of us that doesn't have that. Like, that's where I'm at with that. So the tentacles are still here, and it is shaping our society. Like right now, my brother over there who did that crazy stuff with that police officer that unalived his son, some weird situation where he just randomly did something else. I understand the logic, but this is how tired people are with their children coming up not alive. Like, people tired that they about to start saying, you know what? Let's just all randomly shoot some shots around. Like, it's really getting bad that people don't even want the actual target anymore. They want to do now. It ain't just the white boys that want to go out and just shoot everybody up because they just feel like it. Now, some of them Black ones is feeling like, you know what? Let me get a taste of it. Like, it's getting bad. So my thing is, this is the tentacles of the systemic problem in this country. You've allowed police officers and regular lay people, by the way, to get away with literal murder for decades. And now that culture is being dug in deep within more than white people now, suddenly it's, oh my God, what's wrong with race relations? Nothing. It's been the same since ever. Like, nothing has changed except for people feel the need to match you equally now. Like, they just feel like, you know what? Forget it all. Just forget it. Just forget it. We all the same.
Bet that. Watts, you next up to bat, Brody. And I just want everybody to absolutely remember, when you step into this realm, this is that realm where,
Let's get it. This that go and get it. With no hesitation. This that never quit. Start that elevation. This that process. This that in the making. This that started from the bottom. This that motivation.
Rock out, Watts. You got the floor, Brody.
Can I get that question one more time?
All right, one more game for the win. Lolo, it's on you. All right, let's get it. Let's go to this right chair. Bow.
How has the legacy of systemic racism shaped the current social and economic disparities between racial groups in America?
Okay. So, I mean, I think the greatest example of this is like we teaching our kids the police interaction, keep your hands on the steering wheel, make sure you have your license, all that, that's one of them examples of shit like that. Look, sometimes, how can I say that makes sense? I think there's been this thing where the bully has been beating us up for a while, to where you start to believe that they got certain powers that they don't necessarily have. Give them the freedoms to do certain stuff that they might not necessarily have the ability to do. And then, like Lola said, like people get tired of it. So, I don't know, man. My experience in life is different in a way to where I've been able to experience all of the different races in a way to fuck. I'm trying to figure out how to say it that makes sense, because it makes perfect sense in my brain, but putting it out in words is kind of. I've experienced life in a way to I don't really see race as this thing to where I have to put a person in a box in terms of my interaction with them. Like I don't really see it that way. Do I think that those things exist? Of course. Like of course they exist. I'm not ignorant to them. I do my best to not allow those racial limitations to control the things I do throughout my day and the interactions I make and all of that other kind of stuff. In the real world, like, sure, like, yes, these things do exist, right? Like being black in a certain restaurant, you might get looked at, or in a store, something like that. You know, a black guy going into Gucci, you still might get followed around. Shit like that exists. I think that's always going to be the case in certain ways. I really don't think it's much you can do about that, honestly.
Okay. All right, bet. We're gonna get to these comments right here. Because we gotta make sure we keep the crowd involved as well. All right. Shout out to my family. Let's go ahead and get this. Let me see. Yeah, man, if you work at a plant, that's short for plantation. Wow. Bars all day. Let me see what else we got. Before the First World War, before this was called America, some of us were here. Yeah, it's called indigenous. That's right. All day in the paint. Let's see what else we got. Was there any more comments? I'm just making sure. All right, bat. And we are good. Yes. And I think this is the something someone said in every way. That. So let's go ahead and get to it. So now, with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. Let's go ahead and get to this next question. Oh, no. Oh, you're next. Yeah, I apologize, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah, you blended into the background, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, me loving it. Rock out.
Gratitude. Yeah. I want to address the economic part of that question.
Okay.
So, how it's influencing our economic situation is the same. It's divided. It has the YTs at the top. It has the melanoids at the bottom. It is in what it just showing how great the melanoid, known as the blacks, the indigenous of the Americas that went through the wars, how great we are, because there's so many in it. And if you just look at the odds and everything against the melanoids, the blacks, you wouldn't expect them to be able to produce so many millionaires, so many well-off living, and so many law-abiding citizens. You would expect them to be in a panic, breaking. And so what the media has to do, and it's affecting the media is doing exactly what it's always done. It's trying to perpetuate melanoids and blacks are in a panic and self-destructive because of the pain of the past, when in actual fact is every time I look up, black men are being fathers, but they're portraying us as if we're not. Black women is being great mothers, and they're portraying them as if they're not. They're acting like we're not economically stable when we are. Even those that are in prison are getting money put in their books by blacks. We're even donating money to Africa and to the Caribbean and Central and South America. So in addressing the economic and how it's affecting the economics, it is keeping us back. We can't get loans. The SBA, the Small Business Association, is completely racist. The people running it are racist. The blacks that's in it is just trying to get a job and are not pushing for blacks getting financing because they're just kissing up to get money. And that goes for the NFL, as we just seen with the fucked up situation with Sanders' son. And he's a great football player, but he's getting treated like trash because they're scared to see blacks rise. It's in especially in real estate. They don't even allow. There's literally no blacks that assess and appraise the value of homes throughout the United States of America. And that goes for the bottom of Florida all the way up to Maine, Hawaii, throughout Alaska, Midwest to California, Puerto Rico. Blacks aren't being allowed to appraise the value of any property, whether it's commercial or residential. Education, blacks are still asking to educate. They're not negotiating terms. In promoting, we got a wizard of promotion named Al Heyman. He's been ignored. He's a quiet man. He doesn't want to be bothered. But at the economics, he controls economics. He doesn't control finance. He's so wealthy. He controls the most wealth of boxing created by anybody in history. And he doesn't even let them interview him because he has to stay hiding because he knows how they're going to try to find something on him, and they've been trying to find something on him. Now, the spirit of false accusation are against blacks that are getting wealth, and the spirit of division is against blacks getting wealth. So that's how it's influencing the United States of America economically. It's always focused on blacks. The main, and it's not just coming from a black. It's anybody, period, in the country that is out of their box and can look at it as a whole will realize, hold on, this is dividing everybody. The YTs are at the top, and small hats are YTs, if you know what I mean by that. And
we do.
The slant eyes are second. So the YTs, the slant eyes, and then at the bottom is blacks. And you know, they want to pitch this thing as if the United States is this equal opportunity, and it's not. And so, you know, we going into 2026 looking at the same circumstances.
Okay. All right. I thank you for that. Lolo, are you ready for our final question for the evening?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go ahead and get it. And I thank everybody so much for tuning in. The time right now is 11:42 p.m. East Coast Standard Time. And I thank you all so much for watching. So what we're going to do very, very briefly, as always, y'all know we got to take a quick commercial break and pay quick tribute. So this right here is brought to you by AI control and how it's going to master the world at some point. And we will be right back after these quick commercial messages.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
All right, let's go ahead and get back into it. All right, y'all. So this is our final question for the evening. I thank everybody for being so patient. Respect to the family. Let's rock out. Lolo, it's on you.
Okay, so what role do media and education play in either bridging or deepening the racial divide?
One more game for the win.
What role do media and education play in either bridging or deepening the racial divide?
Watts is on you first, sir.
I'm gonna say the educational part. To me, I'm becoming more involved in when it comes to my kids. Just understanding the importance of my children at the very least, like reading at grade level, like just understanding the simple shit, like having your kids reading at grade level, how easy stuff like that is to happen at schools in communities like ours, and people not even knowing, like kids grow up the whole time your kid was dyslexic and you didn't know because you didn't pay attention to your child's education. But I do think
Really? It's a lot
education
of
is
parents that's
important.
not paying attention? Really?
I
I'm so far removed from that, brother, because I am one, like like even when she thinks I don't know, I know. Like even when she thinks dad don't know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I got word.
But I'll say not paying attention in the sense of I can completely understand how working two jobs and
Right.
taking care of your family could leave the absence of showing up to parent teacher conferences,
Right.
Helping your kids do homework. Like I can see how that shit easily happens. And that is definitely going to continue being the case based on the income level on people that look like a lot of us here today. But definitely, like I said, just me working on doing the best that I can and try and be active in my children's education and working on educating myself, and education being more than what's in the classroom. Because like I said, I've personally said I've spent time excuse me, studying stock markets and etc. Just learning that craft. That is a great just something to teach yourself. Just motherfuckers don't read, please. Like education is important. Education is important, and it is easy to watch a movie and think you know the history on some shit. You watched Gladiator 2 and thought you knew the history of fucking Romans and like, no, that's not how that works, big homie. That's
Exactly.
not, baby. That's not how that works. You know what I'm saying? Like the the other part of it too is I think what's underappreciated is the time it takes to educate yourself on something, the dedication it takes to spend the time reading those books or looking up those articles or going to the library. Like that is an underappreciated thing, because people, it is hard as a human to, as Ms. O'Shawn was talking about earlier, being consistent. It's hard doing that. And when you find yourself in a place to where you look up and be like, damn, I really learned all of these things just by being consistent and taking the time to get all the information that I could. It's amazing what it is that you can learn about yourself in that process of educating yourself. So sometimes it's more than what's just actually on the pages in front of you that you're taking in as you're getting education. And I do think that there should be a better effort on parent to children education. I will say that. Maybe that's the media saying it that way, but I do think that there should be a better effort there.
Okay. Let me see. Let's go to brother Aul, and I'll go ahead and I guess end that off with Lolo. What you got, brother Aul?
Can you put that question up again?
Not a problem. All right, Lolo. What we got right here?
What role do media and education play in either bridging or deepening the racial divide?
All right. What you got, black man?
I want to address the racial divide part of it.
Okay.
The media and education, they try to portray it as if the media is advocate, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's not at all. The media is just all about ads and producing money. And then you got individuals in there, they'll hire like one person, like what's his name? Don Lemon. He was supposed to be their CNN social activist, but the rest of them was just like quirks in the system. So they'll put somebody there to play the game. You see what I mean? And but how is it affecting us? Like the question asks, like the racial divide, correct? And so I like how you keep going back to the racial divide, because that's exactly what it is, man. And it goes to show how, if you look at it historically, the media don't control how melanoids or blacks relate with other races. Blacks or melanoids relate with other races more of the time according to how that person is acting in that moment. But the other people are controlled by the media, sadly, as a majority. Not all of them. If they're heavily influenced by us, they're not that way. But I just want to point out that the others are more under control by the media and the education system. So what is the media and education system doing? That shit is trying to play some fuckery games and trying to go back and forth. And so does the government. The government and the media is just one branch of the government, just like the administrative state is. It's 5 branches. It's not just 3. And so you got the media, the administrative state, and then the 3 that they actually admit. And it's like they're all under this mind control, if you ask me. And I'm not saying all of them. You see what I'm saying? But it's a goddamn shame. You know what I'm saying? How the education system and media ain't catching up to the point where, and I agree with certain things that Donald Trump is doing, but when it comes to the education system, nah. Kind of. Because we ain't got no business telling kids that they needed such and such and such sexually. I'm not gonna go there. I'm just gonna mention it. But
please don't.
To show how the media and education system is influencing. It's a battle. It's like a battle going on. And as long as they can reaction solution, as long as they can keep bullshit going. So they're just using the media and education system to keep the bullshit going, to keep people racially divided.
All right. I like that. I like that right there. All right. So Lolo, what you got for that? Now end it off, and we can go ahead and get to our, I guess, final thoughts and things of that nature. And I don't rush nobody on final thoughts because it's final thoughts. So what you got, Lo?
Media and education or schooling is how we get our information, right? Don't get me wrong, like going to the library is a form of education, right? But the library is in our pockets right now. You see what I'm saying? There's not too many books you can't get on PDF, even if the books are private books. Like you can get anything, right? So the media and schools, how we college or grade school, that's how we learn about the world right now. And just like the irrational circumstance of the ratio, or let's say the chances that you'll die in a plane crash versus a car accident, right? Despite the fact that it's a tremendous chance that you will be in a car crash, yet you don't have the same level of fear as if you would be in a plane crash, while the chances of you being in a plane crash is lower than the chances of you just hitting a lottery. But we still have that irrational fear. Why? Because media, shows us graphic images of a plane coming down, and that seems to have a deeper impact on us than just a car crash. You see what I'm saying? So media is a big influence on society when it comes to culture, when it comes to politics, when it comes to the judicial system. There's a plethora of ways to influence the whole nation through media. You see what I'm saying? Like it's the psychology of it all, right? So to the point of deepening the racial divide or helping the racial divide, clearly the racial divide has not been helped. That's not it. Like it hasn't. And what's strange is essentially it buries it, right? And then it comes up when we have circumstances like what happened with Carmelo. You think everybody is cool because nobody's walking around overtly doing certain things, right? Like not in the masses. But then when that happens, you start seeing stuff come out the woodworks. You're like, yo, I didn't know this many people was this screwed up. Like, and we talking about children. So, or what happened with the 5-year-old. You see what I'm saying? So,
Right,
I mean, essentially, media is creating a think tank where we understand ideologically that we have a history that we're trying to fix, but we're not really fixing said history because it's easier to sweep things under the rug by showing movies and media of people in biracial relationships, showing people going places and traveling the world. Meanwhile, the amount of people with a U.S. passport is like 1 in how many hundred and stuff. Like it's selling the dream, and thus our reality, our problems as a country get swept under the rug, and then it gets unswept when we have these instances, where we have to come face to face with it, to which at that point, we're not dealing with our racial divide. We're pretty happily racially divided. We really are. That's why, as someone said, we're kind of okay with the buildup because we know it's coming. Like we already know at some point, one of us going to snap, and then 500 of us going to snap, and so on and so forth. So I do feel like there could be an opportunity for media to bridge the gap, right? Like I think part of, I'll say this. Y'all remember the show on Netflix, Bridgerton? Anybody seen that here?
I don't watch TV, Lolo.
Okay. So
Yeah, I'm
Bridgerton,
sorry, my bad. Yeah, just break it down to us.
So Bridgerton is a Netflix special. It's essentially it's like a universe.
It's Netflix. It's Netflix.
Yeah. So it's a universe.
Send that to me real quick. I'm just saying real quick. I'm just send that to me, whatever. Because if it's good, I'll check it out. Somehow send it to me.
I don't think you would check this one out because when you see the intro, it might deter you. But essentially, it's a universe where. Let me finish. It's a universe where black and white people essentially merged into just one, right? And even though the politics of race is there, the more you watch the show, the more you forget about race, and the more you see couples together, right? Because it's like a bunch of couples. It's all about marriage, and it's just a bunch of couples. And so the more you see it, the more you forget that most of the couples ain't even of the same race. Like actually, only two out of I don't know how many are of the same race. Like white on white or black on black. So, and you really legitimately forget that we're talking about a world where racism doesn't look the same, and we can appreciate, the movie or the acting without thinking about our place in this society and racism and so on and so forth. Like you really legit forget, but that's a make-believe circumstance to which it did, and I'm not going to front. It did feel a little good just for a couple seconds to forget about race. It felt a little good, but stuff like that, this is what I mean by there's an opportunity for media to be used to heal the ills of our past. But strangely, there's more money in keeping the bullshit going. I'll land it there.
Okay. All right. So let's go back to the question. One more again for the win for myself as well. So let's go ahead and do this. All right. So what role do media and education play in either Bridging or deepening the racial divide. One more again for the win. What role do media and education? I would say it's levels to it. I would definitely say that there are so the role that they play is this, right? The role that they play, I'm gonna be honest with you, is the fear monger. The role that is played is the not allowing people to have an independent thought. You are not supposed to think for yourself. That's not allowed today. I would say nowadays in media, there is definitely a push for a specific agenda, whatever the agenda may be, whichever direction it is in, right? There is something that is at work. There is something that is at play, right? I would say yes. Those are the two that is the biggest factors. Fear, and the whole aspect of trying to get people to be in a herd tribal mind. That is extremely dangerous. The one thing that you can do to absolutely divide people more than anything is to make people believe that we're all supposed to think the same. I'm going to say it again. The best way to actually divide people is to actually convince people in a holistic way that we are all supposed to think the same. Universal thinking. That is extremely dangerous. Even as we look right here at the background, there are many, many stars. Now, with all the stars, it lights up the sky, but each star is its own comet and meteor. Each star has its own purpose. Each star goes off in its own trajectory and direction. You see? And that's definitely something that is extremely dangerous, and something that I see is a huge hindrance when it comes to us as people trying to just get ourselves together. If I'm so focused and worried about, I have to be like you and everybody else, I never formulate my own thought. If I never formulate my own thought, I promise you things do not progress. Things actually do not move forward. It's actually a very, very cunning and very, very slick way of keeping the human mind, spirit, and vessel stagnated. You don't move forward. You don't move forward at all when you are in a state of, I got to keep up with everybody else. Why? Because then you don't chase your own purpose. Now, I do understand it. The government's allegedly whole means is to have control. You cannot control a room full of people and everybody is saying, I'm going this way, I'm going that way. If I am the captain of the ship, let's just take all of us right now. We're on a ship. And we're on this ship, and guess what? While we on this ship, yeah, we just sailing. But one of us is the captain. We can't have Watt saying we should go port. We can't have Aul saying we should go starboard. We can't have Lola saying, God damn it, just turn around. I can't be like, you know what? I think we all should just kind of like just jump off the boat. That won't work. The only way for the captain of the ship to keep the boat and the vessel going is to get everybody on one accord. Now I want us to expand that into an entire nation. Do you think for a second that independent thinking, although we are told this is the land of the free, the whole nine, independent thinking is something that will never be welcomed as long as we have something called a governmental democracy in the whole nine? I'm not against it. I just recognize what it is. This is why I have the headspace that I have. But with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. We're going to go ahead, go around the room. Aul, we're going to go ahead and give your final thoughts first. Watts, and then of course, our lovely co-hostess that definitely did the mostest today. God damn it, Jim. Shit. But you know we love our family. All right, y'all. What you got, old?
Well, it seems like we look into the future. So we adapted to this. We sensitized to the drama. I just know nobody else is experiencing the same experiences we experiencing. It's just sad to see how many people of these other kinds are like so narcissistically oblivious to the suffering that we going through and have been going through, and they have convinced themselves it's okay. So it just makes me think they don't have no souls, you know. So going forward, it's almost, you know, if you on some dark and you thinking then on that level of pessimism, you start thinking, you know, there's no hope or things are so bad, and you start wanting something to just end it all. But that's fake. Like we got our own individual lives, and then us as a group of people, it's just like Barry Sanders on the football field. We got to show out, and that's being compassionate, like the Rastafarians say, we got to love each other. And so I think that's the key. If we can love each other, you know, regardless of what happens, our souls, our heart will be lighter than the feathers, as our ancient ancestors said it's to be. So I think that's what's really going on. Like they trying to play us with all this stuff they created to be in our minds. And
I absolutely love that.
Take care of our souls.
Nah, that's what's up. Now you actually spoke to something very profound there, as far as, you know, I speak about it a lot myself, Black man. I do believe that they have given us certain foods, medicines, certain air quality atmospheres, the whole nine, to keep us from being able to re-tap in. I believe that a lot of our everything around us keeps us from being able to really hone in and truly get back to that level. And I mean, in a spiritual and mental state. And they will fool us into believing that, you know, all we got to do is just, you know, get the body right. Well, you know, last time I checked, the body does what the mind tells it. So if your mind ain't functioning right, what you think your vessel gonna do, right? Your mind is driving that vehicle, and there's no push towards that. So I appreciate you actually expanding upon that. Much respect to you, Black man. Thank you. Watts, what do you have for us before we get up out of here? Lolo, you are definitely next after that, beloved. And we're going to get on up out of here, family. And I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thank you so much. The time right now is 12:07 a.m. East Coast Standard Time. And I thank you for going all the way into what I call more night. That's right, more night. It's morning, but it's still dark outside. Rock out, Watts.
It's morning, but it's still dark outside. That's funny. And look, I think when it comes to conversations like the racial divide, this shit's so deep that it's always gonna be more than a simple band-aid or a quick little fix. It's always gonna be something more than just a simple thing. I think that what is important in conversations like this is that people don't feel they need to take the pressure to think that they're gonna close the divide by themselves, or their one idea or their one thing is gonna change everything for everybody. Like I think it's okay to not carry that pressure to think you're gonna be the messiah to change the entire world. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have to carry that kind of pressure on ourselves. Just having the ability to understand that bettering yourself and the people around you can be good enough to close the gap. Like, just being able to do that within itself can do enough. You're not gonna change the world by yourself, big dog. Just help you get your shit together. The people around you, make sure they A1 and they good, and then it'll all hope it, because I think that we have an ability of coming together, whether we like it or not. We end up coming together in a way that it will work itself out. That's not to say that we don't have work to do. All right, don't think that niggas can just lay back and put their feet up and it's gonna work itself out. But it just don't think you got to do it by yourself, man.
All right, Lolo, what you got for your final thoughts? My final thoughts are going to be a little bit different, but y'all rock out. What you got? I got my final thoughts ready.
Okay, so I would say in my final thoughts, I think that this whole stream was extremely productive. I do, and I want to give
I love it.
I want to give a special shout out to my man Barney over there in Northeast Baltimore, or maybe South Baltimore, Pigtown. Shout out to y'all. I want to give a special shout out because at least he had the gumption to come in the room, even though he was a bit too sensitive to stay in the room. I think that our level of sensitivity needs to be respected. All of us, no matter who you are, right? It doesn't matter if you're Barney. As a white man, we need to respect the sensitivity of his struggle. The same way as, Mark Lamont, as sensitive as he is. We need to respect all of y'all, right? But I think that this was a learning and a teaching moment. I really do. And I appreciate every last one of you that thought, who the fuck is she? But I appreciate it because we get to see who is who. And that's the good thing about my people. Okay. I'm always bless on my people. We like knowing who is who. We don't care what you doing, but we need to know who you is so we can make sure that we, like Barney elucidated, draw lines in the sand. Make sure the politics is right first. See what I'm saying? So without further ado, I will just say thank you everybody on the panel. As y'all already knew, just like with Barney, y'all called me here because y'all wanted me to fly down on that shit.
I called you up. I called you up, but I didn't call you up for that, Lola. But I did call you up. I didn't know it would turn into that, fam. You know that for a fact.
Hey, I didn't know either. So see, here's something. We all victims here. We're all victims. I'm a victim. You're a victim. You're a victim. We all victims. We victims. But
you are wow.
I had fun. I had fun. That's what
did. I know you did. I know you did.
That's it.
Man. And with that being said, yes, I digress. My mic is muted. Always remember, everything I play is very, very strategic and purposeful. These are my final thoughts.
My father once told me, son, you see silence? Silence is power. Never explain yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Never waste time proving your worth to those who can't see it. Stay silent, stay focused, and let your success be the loudest response. He taught me that not everyone deserves an explanation, and not every battle is worth fighting. Some people will twist your words, no matter how carefully you speak. Some will doubt you, no matter how hard you prove yourself. That's why silence is a weapon. Because when you stop talking and start doing, the results speak for themselves. So let them doubt you. Let them question you. Let them misunderstand you. It's not your job to convince them. Your only job is to keep moving forward, to keep building, to keep proving them wrong without ever saying a word. Because in the end, words fade, but success, that's undeniable.
I am a very, very strategic and methodical man. You know I love us.
Bagging this bitch, yeah. Feel like I'm bagging a brick. Was locked for 2 years, my nigga. I swear I feel good just to be bagging the mix. Yeah, nigga, I'm happy as shit. Glory to God, I ain't have to exist. There's always a reason, my nigga. Keep doing what you doing and taking them risks. Yeah, every nigga that I run with is solid. Get caught, they taking they lick. You don't feel safe making that drop, so nigga, you bringing the blick. If you gotta die just to survive, then you should be calling it quits. I know you trying to get back on your feet, my nigga, it's hard as a bitch. Yeah, nigga. I made a choice to get money, and bitches I used to fuck told me I'm starting to act funny. I put it up for them rainy days, so you know a nigga popping out when it's sunny. I made it to the 10th grade, but I dropped out cause them schools wasn't for me. Yeah, nigga, I had to channel my vision, no suit and tie, but I handled my business. My daughter cried when they gave me my sentence. They set me down, was away for a minute. Demon time, had to pray for forgiveness, and for the record, they should put me in Guinness. Took a while just to get me 100. You should know how long it took me to get it. You was round, nigga, you was a witness. Yeah, you was addicted. I was serving, nigga, you was an addict. We're trying to turn a G-Shock to a Paddock. It's shocking to me that you say you want static. My niggas known to turn beef to a patty. So if it's wall, I'ma roll me a fatty. My goon's ready, I'ma send him your addy. Yeah, nigga, I got the shit in the headlock. If you fucking with the feds, then it's off with your head along with your dreadlock. Don't care if we cool, if you rat on the crew, then you just as good as a dead out. Nigga got hit with the 30, yeah, they did him dirty. He gone, he bled out. Yeah.
What's up, Keem, nigga? We back in this bitch. Let's go. Back in this bitch, I'm about to black on this shit. Shout out my nigga, he back on the bricks and we suited and booted, no slacking this shit. Yeah, I was the one that turned nothing from something. I used to trap with them nicks, cutting up coke and running them fix. Lying hard, I ain't running from shit. You crossed the line, broke my hands tied. I cried a river when my mans died. So I can't just win, dawg. I gotta do it by a landslide. I lit the dark like a campfire. Got silver bullets for you vampires. I read his posture, I could see he frontin'. I hit him up like I needed something. Keem sends the text, say he got something to wreck. And I'm a demolition man, my nigga, so what you expect? We breaking jaws, we breaking laws, you look wrong, nigga, breaking your neck. And I do it without breaking a sweat, getting tired of taking a breath. I gotta make sure that needs is met. In other words, bro, don't get in between, cause I do you dirty and pull off clean. I come out the mud like Andy Dufresne. All these niggas, they done grew to be fiends. All these bitches, they just wanna be seen. Pass the rock if you wanna be team, but I know the place, so I watch for the screen. I'm the light, all you see is the beam. I do it big, but it always a dream. Niggas hating, boy, they plotting they scheme, but don't miss if you come for the king. I put a round at the top of your crown. It's only us at the top of the mound. Niggas be loud, but they don't got a sound. I get the money, I was lost, now I'm found. Find myself by myself, so I'm low, I'm in stealth. I don't do it for a chain, but I do it for the belt. Yeah.